Hello and welcome to Your Average Critics, joined today by Chris, Ollie and Obi. Joe's ditched just again. No surprise there. So this week we're going to be...
Guys, 1 second. You've stopped asking us how our week was. I feel like I want to share my week with people.
Oh yeah, sorry man. Sorry, I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah, we haven't done this for a couple of weeks.
Mate, it's the first time that we've all been out together in like forever.
It's a fair point.
That's true. Okay, cool. Well, how's your week been then?
Pretty shit, mate. Carry on. No, I'm joking. It's been a good week, actually. Arsenal winning.
Yes,
Went out with you lot yesterday.
in touching distance
So that
of
was a
4th
highlight.
place.
Yeah, it was good, man. I think.
We're being proper hipsters in Shoreditch.
Yeah.
There's bare hipsters in Shoreditch.
Yeah, it's hipster central, mate.
Ugh,
We're pretty much in some like disused warehouse, right?
Yeah, the floor's like concrete. Anyways.
Anyway, anyone else done anything?
Once a prison.
Yeah. Leather seating though. Top class.
Either of you two done anything exciting this week?
That hesitation is the story
Yeah,
of my life.
yeah, pretty much.
we went to swipe.
Fucking
We
hell.
went to see the biggest L in Southampton, or wasn't it? The biggest J in Southampton.
Oh yeah.
The biggest J in
So
Southampton.
we were in Southampton for an Arsenal match, and because I've been to Southampton a few times,
He was tall.
they designated me a tour guide, and there's just a huge John Lewis sign. So I was like, oh yeah, there's the biggest J in Southampton. That was
quality.
St Mary's wasn't a great atmosphere, but
No, it wasn't.
it's always good to go and watch your team win.
I can't remember what I did Friday.
No, fair enough. It was only like literally 2 days ago.
Alcohol,
then-
mate. That's what it does to your mind. Destroys it.
Disgusting.
And then this week we're going to be doing Tough Mudder. So
Yeah.
Well,
So you might not hear from me
yeah,
after this episode.
Or any of us.
Yeah.
we might not survive, but we are accepting donations.
And we
so,
may put a link of our video of the whole thing on.
oh, that's going to be hilarious. Maybe we'll do a podcast during Tough Mudder. So
So guys, what do you think of that film? Get zapped.
we're still not sure whether we're going to be able to do one next week, but we'll let you know. How do people donate if they want to?
So we have a fundraising page, and we can send out the link
Yeah, we'll put it on the
onto our podcast
yeah.
Facebook page.
Basically, for people who have varying levels of fitness, going to be
I mean,
doing an
like,
assault course in mud.
Glenn and I, you and me, have actually trained for this. We've been doing some running.
Training's a very loose term.
Well, yeah.
I've been doing light training.
Such as
Light training, innit?
like walking here,
Mild,
walking to the bus stop.
mild jogging, Pick up the run every now and again. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyone got any film news for us this week?
I read that Power Rangers 2 may not be happening
Really?
because it didn't do as well as expected in the
Mm.
box offices and especially in China.
Okay.
So I know you said that there's potentially 2, 3, 4 and 5.
Yeah, they
But
announced like
It cost
4 sequels, didn't
yeah.
they? So
I think it cost them 100 million, and before it hit China, it might be during its time in China or before it hit China, it had made 135 million,
really,
and that's not as much as they were expecting it to make. So they essentially only made profit of 35 up to that point. So
How
And that-
long was that out for them to make that? That's still a
I think
pretty good.
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's the start, isn't it? And like, and I'm assuming you're gonna get more money from DVD sales. It's gonna probably boost like the franchise's TV series because more kids are gonna want to watch it. I mean, I think they should pursue it, but that's what I read this morning. I don't know how true it is.
so it's not opened in China yet.
I know. I think it has. I just don't think it's been well
right.
received.
Well, that's the problem because we talked about it at the time of before the film's even finished its theatrical run, you just announce all these sequels, and it's like, well, what's the point of announcing them if you don't know whether they're going to happen? I think we were saying at the time, like, if this isn't successful, they're just going to kind of look silly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm happy with the one though. If they obviously, I'm not.
It'd be nice to see the Green Ranger though
It
in
would.
another
it
one.
would, but I'm not like, oh my god, we need to see another one sort of
Yeah.
thing. If they bring out another one, I'll go and watch it. But if they don't bring out another one, then I'm not that fussed either way.
I kind of feel like it wasn't set up for another one. Like, they teased the Green Ranger, but that's kind of...
Yeah.
You were saying this actually, weren't you? So I think that they probably did that as backup just in case it didn't do that well. Because I'm assuming, well, as far as I'm aware, the previous Power Ranger films didn't do great either. I could be...
There just obviously just isn't an appetite for it. I think they pitched it at a 12A level, whereas Power Rangers is probably a PG level thing. So they tried to make it a little bit more adult, especially in the first 5 minutes when they bring a bull in and like try and joke about
Do you think it's not for the
wanking it
big
off.
screen?
Eh?
Do you think it's not for the big screen?
I just think, yeah.
You could definitely make
That's
that
what-
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Well, it's what, a kids'
Yeah,
TV program.
it's better
isn't it?
served
It's like-
as a TV show than it is a film. I think.
Yeah.
So like, it's better to do it over 20 episodes or however many episodes it is than to try and cram it all into 2 hours. I think, but they'll keep trying probably anyway. So I'll still go and see it. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I really wasn't a fan of it.
Fair enough. Man.
I don't get how they can spend so much on films nowadays where it's only like 3 hours long, but television series they spend like half, and yet obviously it's like, you know, TV series could go on for
Yeah.
series and that's hours and hours.
But the budgets are smaller, isn't it? And obviously more people. Well, I'm assuming that more people will go. Most films, more people will go. And
But how
watch
do
than
how do
TV
they
shows.
make their money then?
Which ones?
Like,
TV shows,
yeah, like
Advertising,
Is
syndication,
ratings,
yeah.
viewership. So like.
what do you reckon is more profitable?
Films.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Because you've got like, so I think the first series of House of Cards was 100 million.
Seriously.
I think so. I might be wrong. And I wouldn't be surprised if Game of Thrones was roughly that.
I think Game of Thrones is like 10 million episode.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
100 million a
100 million, yeah.
series.
Oh yeah.
Which you can kind of tell, you know, the production values in that are incredible. What's your news, Chris?
No, it's worldwide. They made 135 million.
That is poor.
It made back its 100 million budget and a little extra, but those numbers definitely don't bode well for a potential Power Rangers
What
2.
the hell did House of Cards spend 100 million on? Sorry.
Kevin
Spacey.
Spacey.
I'm actually
All
shocked
those
at
extras though, innit? Because they're always doing extras like with their
I
pep rallies
could be
and stuff
completely
like
wrong. I could be completely wrong. I thought it was House of Cards. Maybe it was another show.
Fair
But
See, that's
Well, you're
what I
looking
mean.
at the
They
House of
can-
Cards
you
budget.
can
they build sets, don't they? Like they'll build the set of
spend a lot
Yeah.
on TV
the,
series.
The White House.
Let's be honest though, spoiler, that train scene,
Yeah.
that's probably quite hard to do.
That's a fair point.
what? Ah,
Right, you go and push someone in front of a train when there's a train not there and make a train go past and kill them. That's really hard.
well, that's coming out the end of this month, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a.
Man, I think.
Did any of you get the email from Netflix? There was an email with a little
No.
thing from it.
No. What did it say?
Let me find it. Oh, I'm getting all of it today, aren't I? Bloody hell.
I forgot what I was saying now.
But there was a little like trailer for it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That looked quite good. It's
I haven't
got
seen
more,
it, I don't think.
Oh, more. It's basically just more scheming
Well,
and
yeah, you had the thought that because there's 4 decks in a
yeah,
deck of cards, that this is going to be the entire House of Cards falling down, isn't it, on him?
yeah. 4 suits, 13 cards in each. So the 4 series, 13 episodes.
So the house is built.
is being built with the cards, the metaphorically, and then series 5 they could all come tumbling down.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like
Do you
his
have any-
rise to power.
Unless it's already tumbled down at the end of season 5. Well, hasn't he already crumbled though? Hasn't he already like had that hitch?
He's
No.
running
And he's
for
now-
president still.
Yeah, no,
And
but
I
he's had the
reckon
hitch, hasn't he? And he's trying to build it again already, isn't he?
I would say he's still trying. Like I would say,
Still up there.
him winning the election now is when the house is built.
Yeah.
And then from there,
True.
it's all down. From
Thing is though, you've got like Claire, haven't you, who's been a real pain in the arse. Like,
she was, but they started to come together
Together,
towards the end
yeah.
of season 4, didn't
it
they?
helps that he got shot.
Yeah.
this is the email I got.
Okay, read it out to us.
Oh, Jesus. So, a message from President Underwood. Concerned citizens, all my life I've devoted myself to our fine country. Protecting your freedom is my greatest honour. In dark times like these, we must keep our eyes open and watch out for each other. As 30th of May approaches, I need your loyalty more than ever. Can Claire and I count on you? My staff doesn't believe in propaganda, but we do believe. You'll enjoy this video trailer.
Nice.
They're gonna start a war,
That's quite cool marketing.
I reckon they
actually.
will. Yeah.
so they can end the war.
Yeah. Well, are there anyone else seen any other decent marketing for film or TV? Like, you know, that's quite a novel way of getting hype for a TV show.
I don't know, not really. I tend to ignore these emails though and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
But there's another memorable one, which I think was released after the fact, was the social media thing from 13 Reasons Why, where there's a little video of Hannah Baker's phone screen.
Yeah, I
and
think,
it's
I
like,
think that's really...
today.
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, she gets Snapchats from people saying, oh, you know, great art, and then like text being like,
I don't know
why
how
you see
found
my
that,
boyfriend, and it's kind of
I
like,
have a slight problem with that as well.
oh, okay, well, we'll talk about
Yeah.
13 Reasons Why later, because Obi's finally finished it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, back to House of Cards. I'm really looking forward to it. The trailers doesn't give much away. It's basically, so the Republican guy is still running.
Yeah.
And then it basically, I think it's got Kevin Spacey's a voiceover, and then eventually says Underwood 2016, Underwood 2020, 2024, 2028, 2032.
Even though he can't technically do that, can he?
No, so I'm kind of thinking maybe he tries to become a dictator because, you know...
He already kind of is to me.
But you can only be president for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Unless you become vice president and the president dies, and then you become president again.
Yeah.
But can he? Because he was vice president, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then he became president. Does that start his 8-year tenure? No. So he's
He
done.
works to the end of that former president's term, and then you can do 2 terms after.
Okay. So
So
interesting.
what's the
fact.
maximum he can be in office?
Well, as officially elected president, you can only have 2 terms, so maximum 8 years. But you could, like, no one's ever done this, but you could theoretically, like, be a president for 8 years and then run as someone else's vice president. But, like, obviously nobody really wants to make a step down from president to vice president.
Yeah.
But you could do that, and then say that president becomes impeached or dies, then you become president again.
It'd be
But you can't run again after that.
It'd be odd to see if like after his presidency, then Claire becomes president and he kills her to become president.
Well, I'm sure they'll probably find out that he killed her.
Yeah, true. But
What does she want? Did you want to run for president? I can't remember.
I think
she wants
Or
to
does
be.
want
She wants.
Secretary of State or
Doesn't she
something
want to
like
run as vice now?
that? Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
she is his vice president.
Yeah.
Yeah. But does she want, like, is her end game to become president?
I think her end game is to become president, but you don't know that.
Because I
But
remember he appointed a something.
Secretary of Defence, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and then they were like, you haven't got the skills,
Yeah.
basically. You haven't got the experience to do this job, and that kind of put him under pressure.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, he tried to help her.
It's just
progress.
nepotism.
I just think after watching the trailer, there's like 3 key things in this. Like obviously his presidency run, and you feel like he's going to do something big to keep up the presidency. Then the second thing is the thing with Doug and killing. Sorry, spoiler, killing that girl.
Very true.
They're going to try and uncover that a little bit, I think, in this one.
Okay.
And then I think the third bit was that writer. That writer's dodgy, mate. That writer is dodgy.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
We're just gonna have a huge orgy, aren't they? Really?
Oh,
They got off, didn't they? Yeah. Thought so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start watching this TV.
It's-
Is that
I
what's
think-
made you want to watch
I think
it?
you'll like it. No, I actually think you'll like it. I think you'll
I think
like it.
there's,
really
I think there's
interesting.
one shit season.
Season 3.
Three.
Yeah.
Season 3 is
They
right.
always have their little.
I can't see where
Stumble.
it's gonna go. I don't see how it's gonna end. Like, how would you end this? You either end it.
Frank's going to prison, or he's going to die.
Yeah.
It's either that, one of those 2. He's got to go to prison, or he's going to
Or
die.
he goes into hiding.
Because I can't imagine he'll stay president.
No.
Who was it got shot? JF Kennedy.
Yeah, Jeff Kennedy.
So maybe it'll be like that.
Maybe. Based on nothing, my prediction would be is that him and Claire concoct to start this war so that they can obviously end it, and then their approval ratings go up, so they get elected to be president, and then someone finds out that they started this war, and then he gets impeached or something like that, goes to prison. That's how-
like the storyline for V for Vendetta.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Isn't-
Decent film.
Conspiracy of the government. We're gonna get it shut down.
Well, we saw that Illuminati sign yesterday.
Yep, they're everywhere. We've been introduced to it.
Illuminati, we're sorry.
They already know, mate. They already
Oh,
know
yeah,
about
shit.
us. Isn't Frank Underwood from a place where they make peaches? Or like they grow peaches?
South Carolina, I think, or
Yeah.
North Carolina. I don't know.
So it'd be
I
kind of
don't know.
ironic if he's impeached.
Jesus Christ.
He's physically put into a
Do you
peach.
think you're reading too much into it?
No, I think it was foreshadowing. Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. I saw a trailer for a film called Berlin Syndrome, which is like a kind of horror thriller. So obviously you've got Stockholm Syndrome, which is kind of where a prisoner kind of falls in love with their captor. And this is about a Australian student who goes on a gap year to Berlin, and she meets this guy travelling, and then they kind of get romantically involved. And then he they're in his
This
house,
doesn't sound like your kind of film.
No.
and then
Something horrible's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what it was sounding like going to film.
So-
someone's died.
So then he goes to work, and then locks her in the house, and then she tries to get out, and then she's like, oh, that's weird, and he's like, being like, oh, just for your own safety, and then she kind of gets more and more paranoid, and she tries to break the glass and realizes it's reinforced and stuff, and it's kind of like not a home invasion, but like a kidnap sort of thriller. It seemed quite interesting. I don't know. I can't imagine it will be one of these wide releases, so we'll probably have to try and find it on DVD or something. But
Well, you'll try and have to find
Yeah,
it
I'll
on
take you down.
DVD.
I'm not gonna watch it. Do you guys remember the trailer for I can't remember what it's called, but it's the film with all these people who are at work, and then suddenly all the all the doors get shut and stuff like that, and there's like a voice on like a tannoy.
Yeah, the Belko experiment.
That's it. Has that come out yet?
Yeah.
Has it?
Been and gone, mate.
Has it? Oh shit! I need to see that film. I actually thought that's quite interesting.
You wanted to watch that?
Yeah,
It's a horror,
That was a
innit?
horror.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
shit.
tell him that.
Never mind then. When did that come out?
About 3 weeks ago.
Oh really?
That's just before Guardians.
Oh,
Yeah, it was written by James Gunn, who does Guardians.
fair enough.
Maybe we'll get that on DVD and make you watch it.
Maybe.
We'll lock you in, mate. Make sure you watch it.
We also saw a trailer for All Eyes on Me, which is a Tupac biopic,
Oh.
which looked alright actually.
I think it looks
the
quite
casting was
Strong.
strong.
Like in terms of
And they changed the main character though, didn't you say the other week?
yeah, they changed the main character, the guy playing Tupac. They changed him, but they both really look like both people who they've picked both really look like Tupac.
Have they got two? They've got two people. So is it two different stages of life?
So no, they got one person to play it, and then he pulled out. So then they had to cast someone else, and so like this film was supposed to come out a lot sooner than now. I think it was supposed to come out last year, but I think they had to reshoot it basically because the person.
Is this following on from obviously Straight Outta Compton? Because at the end of that, there was a lot of discussion as if they're gonna do like a Snoop film,
Yeah,
film, because they were in it very briefly.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's just kind of separate. It's got the guy who played B.I.G. from Notorious, but it would definitely
really?
be. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. Aren't they gonna have to make him look well young though?
He's not got that. He's not really got like an. He hasn't aged very much basically.
Oh, right,
So
okay, that's
he'll
pretty
look about the same.
Okay.
But it would be really interesting to see more about the East-West Coast kind of feud and, you know, Snoop and...
I do think it would be quite a. Sorry to interrupt you. I do think it would be quite a Biggie versus Tupac centric film because that's probably like the big, like, you know, story that everyone's
Spitting bars.
But what perspective they're going to take it from though? Because obviously there's all this. There's no 100%. Is it? Am I right in thinking there's no 100% proof on what actually happened?
No, I don't think so.
No, you can only take. Obviously, you can only take whoever's word you're going by.
Yeah.
So I imagine that there'll be similarities from this film to the stuff that happened in the Notorious film, but obviously coming from the other side, they'll probably make it look a bit more like. So like Tupac got shot once on his way to meet Biggie in the studio, and they've acted like in the Notorious film they acted like he had nothing to do with it. He didn't know that it was happening. But I imagine in this film they'll kind of like make it so it's a bit unclear as to whether who was involved, sort of thing. That like maybe he had some sort of involvement in it. Because I think that's what Tupac believed at the time, and I imagine the people around him believed that at the time too.
They'll probably have to have someone playing Diddy and Dre as well.
Someone who's a better lookalike than the one they got to play him in Notorious, because that looked nothing.
Was
like
that the
him
guy
at all.
from 13 Reasons
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, as you said just.
Absolutely nothing like.
And also
Diddy.
Suge Knight, I think he would also be in it, right?
Oh yeah, I imagine he'll be in it quite a lot.
Yeah.
They're quite a big.
Because he was with them both when they died.
Yeah.
Or got shot.
Yeah, quite a big involvement in
Or he
Tupac's
set him up.
music career. Apparently, he owed Tupac like $40 million or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons maybe why he set up his killing.
Mm.
Don't quote me on that because it's libel.
But he's still alive though, isn't he? So it's fine.
Yeah.
He's in prison, isn't he?
Tupac?
No,
He appeared as-
no, not Tupac.
No, Tupac's alive. He conveniently appears as a hologram at Coachella a few years ago. Like, okay.
Wait. I want to just say that. So you said that you might find it interesting to see the West Coast and East Coast.
Yeah.
Do you guys not want to see anything a bit more close to home? Penge Blocker, Skepta and Wiley.
Bench Rock with Cherry.
If Stormzy starts some beef, maybe. Or maybe like the Chip and everyone.
In it, Chip versus the World behind the scenes.
I think he has run out of bars. I haven't heard anything from him recently.
He's making an album, to be fair.
Oh, fair enough.
Is he being a sellout? Is he not doing any grime? What is he doing?
I think he's doing grime, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other trailers? So we saw about 40 for Dunkirk before Alien Covenant.
Yep. So we've seen the film now.
Pretty much. It was just like between every trailer there was like a little
Snippet.
snippet based on
I
a
kinda
different
like that, though.
theme.
What, Dunkirk?
Yeah. So it was like
Interesting.
don't know, feeling trapped or togetherness. You know, all sorts of different
But
things.
it's on like a stopwatch, so you only get
Yeah.
snippets because that's the thing.
It actually looks really good. I mean,
I would
What is
see
it? I know obviously it's about Dunkirk, but what is it about?
I think it's about the invasion. Like, you know, when they land on Dunkirk,
No,
like
it's
during
the
World War
opposite.
Two. Oh, is it
So
not?
it's actually when there's something like 40,000 troops that are stranded at Dunkirk. The Germans have surrounded
Ah, okay.
us pretty much. And the story is that there are not enough ships in the Navy. I don't know whatever the logistic problem is, but they have to get them off of Dunkirk back to safety. So I think the story is that everyone in the coastal town from the British Isles, they will come over the channel to save them.
Any famous faces in it?
Harry Styles.
Tom Hardy.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Tom Hardy,
Harry Styles,
Scarecrow.
Tom Hardy.
Mm.
Yeah,
What, he's
Cillian
like
Murphy.
In it, innit? Oh.
Yeah, well, I don't know how big a part it is.
Well, it's like David Beckham's in King Arthur.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, don't know how that's going to work.
Fair enough.
It's got a scarred up face in it.
To be fair, I saw Alan Sugar tweeted David Beckham saying your acting needs work. I wasn't sure what you meant by that. Maybe that's what. He meant.
It's just one of those... Do you reckon it's one of those ploys just to kind of get...
Well, he's quite good
Teenage
mates.
girls
Isn't he? Isn't he quite good mates with Guy Ritchie though? Who's like doing?
Oh, you're talking about David Beckham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about the Harry Styles bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I usually like.
Maybe he was just there at the
Yeah.
wrong place, right place, right time. You know, he's just
happened to
walking
walk on
by
set.
set.
Hey, Harry, do you want to be in there?
There are loads of cameos though. So like for Star Wars, there's been quite a few. I think
Yeah,
Daniel Craig
Craig
was in it.
Yeah,
Wasn't
wasn't Simon Pegg in it as well?
But to be honest, you can just...
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say anyone was in that stormtrooper thing. Like, you know, it's not the way... they're not walking. You're like, oh, that's Daniel Craig's walk. Like, what the hell, you know? It's just he says, oh, yeah, I was one of the stormtroopers.
They just really wanted to be part of it, didn't they?
You could say Queen
I
Elizabeth was...
Yeah,
Who?
yeah, same.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Mm.
It's like saying anyone could wear Darth Vader's outfit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not much of a cameo if you don't see his face or... I don't know if you hear his voice at all.
I'm intrigued to see Dunkirk though.
Yeah.
Because I really like war films. Like
Me too.
recent films, like I've seen Fury, and I think that's one of the better films I've
Hacksaw
seen.
Yeah, but
Ridge.
this
Hacksaw Ridge, yeah, that was really good.
I don't know how much war there's actually going to be in Dunkirk
There
because
wasn't
the story is of a retreat.
true, but there wasn't that much war in. Well, there was war in Hacksaw Ridge, but it was more.
There
He-
was loads.
Yeah, no, but
it was
it- the-
2/3 of dialogue,
but
and then
but
a
the whole-
full-on like.
But the thing was,
45
the thing
minutes
was
of
more
chaos.
like based on how he didn't want to be like a person with a gun.
Yeah.
And then he was saving people, wasn't he, for a good part of it, like going in and saving them or being the medic, more than. I suppose, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. Like, I've seen plenty of war films where it's like just all war, like guns killing, like
Like Full Metal Jacket or
Yeah.
Apocalypse
Saving
Now.
Private Ryan.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. That's kind of a war film. It's like Vietnam, isn't it?
Can't remember it.
Oh, that's a brilliant film. Yeah, I think Dunkirk should be good. Like, Christopher Nolan's known for his scale and, you know, epic nature of his films. I wasn't that keen on Interstellar, so hopefully this will be a return to form.
I really liked Interstellar.
Maybe I need to rewatch
Why?
it.
Why? I just thought it was really clever. Although I did think the ending was really bizarre. I just didn't really. The
Some of
whole
those
mirror
films are
world
just
was
like-
like, what the hell?
Yeah, I really didn't get on
Everything was
board with it.
everything was essentially connected, even
Yeah.
though he'd gone to somewhere. Oh, yeah, actually, when I think about it, the more yeah.
Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Yeah?
So we're almost halfway through 2017. What's been your favourite films of 2017 so far?
Ooh. That we've seen.
That is a good
That
question.
you've seen- well, obviously, yeah, that you've seen.
What's the best film you haven't seen, Ollie? Jeez.
I can't remember what films have come
We've
out.
seen so many, man.
We've
I
seen
don't
loads.
even know
We've
what
seen
we've...
loads.
I need to go back through all the podcasts and listen to...
I'd say my favourite's Logan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you've
To
been
the
raving
point-
about that,
to
mate.
the- yeah, to
He's
the
gonna
point
want to watch
where-
it in black
To
and
the
white.
point where
when it comes out.
I will go and watch it again. I'm not gonna lie. If it comes out in black and white, I'll go watch it again. But maybe Fences probably is a close second. I think.
I'd say Hacksaw Ridge or Moonlight, maybe.
I think
Yeah.
they're both probably in my top 5. To be fair, that whole from like
That Oscar period.
was
Yeah.
those films
Was
were
solid.
sick, man.
I can't think of many...
If it's a cinema film that's come out this year, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'd say Hacksaw Ridge as well.
Yeah. I mean, other films have been like Power Rangers, John Wick 2,
Both sick. So.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
What's your point?
Guardians.
Also sick. What's your point?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably say one of the Oscar noms
Yeah.
for kind of, I guess, obvious reasons
Yeah.
because they are superior to a lot of the other.
This is
films.
true. I'd probably say Hacksaw Ridge or Logan. Although I'll tell you what, Fences surprised me how good it was because I really wasn't expecting it to be wow, and then it was pretty wow. And the whole connection when I made the connection with the Fences thing, I was like, wow, this is really good. I was like, took me back, mate. I was like,
Mind blown.
yeah.
I think one of the films I'm actually looking forward to coming out now, based on the trailer that we saw, it was Blade Runner 2049. that looked really cool. Dennis Villeneuve.
Synthesizer.
The soundtrack's
That's all it
decent.
I literally don't know that reference because I haven't watched Blade Runner.
As in, like, the music is like Daft Punk, like just
Oh, okay,
synthesizer.
cool.
You can borrow it. I have it on DVD. I will rewatch it because I don't remember much of it. But
So Harrison Ford is still in cinema.
oh my god, he's just reviving all his old franchises, right? So it's gonna be
There's
another
Indiana Jones is
Indiana
coming out.
Jones.
Oh my god,
fucking
what?
Star Wars, like
Yeah, but he's-
this film.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
gone from
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just make something original, man. But
Well, it's between him and
Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah, who take the top spot for the highest grossing actor, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And he's in bloody Hitman's Bodyguard, isn't he? That looks quite funny though.
Yeah.
So
Look forward to that.
But yeah, I think Blade Runner 2049, director of Arrival, is doing it, so it should be pretty epic.
Arrival. That's the one that you liked and you didn't think was that great,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Did you see Arrival?
I haven't seen it. No.
I might watch that.
It's a good film. I like it. Came out last year, so I wouldn't put it in my top ones of last year. But yeah, should be good.
So I've got a question now.
Okay.
That I'm going to jump in. So obviously I've seen very recently Lord of the Rings again,
Of
False.
and The Hobbit.
Oh,
Nice.
Standard.
God.
Standard every week. So my question is to the table and to the listeners.
My answer is no. Lord of the Rings is shit.
No, that's not. The question is, do you get put off of a film depending on how long its duration is? So I've said to you, you should totally watch this film, but you always say Lord of the Rings is going to give me a week, like I've got to have a week's notice, blah blah blah. Does the length of the film like put you off wanting to watch it?
I think it does play a factor, but more the main factor that I don't think I'll watch Lord of the Rings is because I don't really like it. I don't like. I've got this preconceived notion that I won't like it, so it being long just kind of adds to the fact that me thinking that I won't like it. Normally, I actually don't mind long films. Like if it's a film that I think is going to be good. So I'm trying to think of an example. Like Fences was like 2.5 hours pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was like I didn't mind that it was 2.5
But
hours.
did you know that before you went in though?
No, I didn't. To be fair. Yeah.
I think it definitely does play a factor because I've got quite a few films in my DVD collection I haven't got around to watching yet. One of them's The Deer Hunter, which I'm pretty sure is almost 3 hours, if not over. And it's, I bought it because I wanted to watch it, but it's kind of like, do I have the bother to, or the patience to sit through a 3 hour film?
Because there are a lot of good films that are more than 3 hours, or coming up to 3 hours.
Well-
Like,
Schindler's List.
Haven't seen it.
That is a very good film. But the only problem with having such a long film is that you've got to get up and change the disc.
This is it.
do you
Well,
actually?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
How long was the Notebook?
I don't know. A couple of
two and
hours.
a half, I think.
Okay.
But the thing is for me, like I think if you go in cinema, I don't know if you just said this, I was you zoned out trying to look up something. But like if you go cinema, like it doesn't faze me. Like at all. Like I'll just be like, alright, it's a long film, but like I'll sit there and watch it. But it's like you said, if it's on DVD, you're always putting it off until you have that much time or you've got that much focus to put on that kind of film. Because if it's a 3 hour film, there's probably a lot of detail that you've got to pay attention to.
You don't want to, you don't want to put it on and then halfway through you've got dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't watch it after work. You'd have to do it on a weekend, and then to try and think of 3 hours on a weekend to do something. And plus, like I always watch films in my bedroom, and it's not that comfortable. I keep having to like fidget and stuff. So,
I felt when I'm not too comfortable there because I'd fall asleep.
but I agree. I think watching a 3 hour film is probably easier at the cinema.
Yeah.
Even though I still don't find it that comfortable. But it all depends on how engaged you are with it. Because like when we were watching A Silent Voice, that was only 2 hours long, but that felt quite long.
Yeah.
But
Because
I don't know if that's because we were having to not only concentrate on the picture, but the subtitles as well.
Maybe.
I mean, I know you're quite good at reading subtitles because you do it anyway when you watch stuff because you don't want to miss details. But I mean, that's quite a difficulty. But then again, the storyline was a bit samey and it dragged on quite a lengthy period of time. So yeah, maybe. I mean, I remember I saw Pirates of the Caribbean 3 at the cinema, and that was 2 hours and 50 minutes long. I remember thinking, this is one hell of a long film.
Yeah.
But I really did want to see it, so...
Yeah, Captain
enjoyed
America
it.
3 is over 2.5 hours.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that though. I wouldn't have thought that while watching it. I don't think.
It's because it's just action.
Yeah,
so
it's always
entertaining.
keeping you engaged, isn't it?
Whereas I guess also something like Schindler's List or Apocalypse Now or one of like they're so deep and to like have that emotional investment and draining.
But it takes that much time to tell a story, doesn't it? If you
Yeah.
want to get all the details.
But then I guess it's kind of odd because if you binge watch TV, generally you're watching more than 3 hours worth of content. So this week, like on Thursday, I watched 5 hours worth of Game of Thrones, and it just flew by. So you think I could have watched, Schindler's List and another film.
Yeah.
True.
True. I guess it's all about how engaged you are. But then I guess in terms of that, I was just thinking each episode's an hour, so you can kind of stop if you want. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do need to watch more long films. Even King Kong,
Yeah,
not Skull Island.
that
but,
was a freaking long one.
that is a long film,
Yeah.
but that was quite good.
It's like like you're saying, like binge watching TV series. Like, I was trying to watch the one that Joe recommended, the anime one, One Piece. Like 20-minute episodes, but it's 700 episodes. So.
Wow.
I'm up to episode 5, so.
I could watch like, I don't know if anyone else is the same, but say you've got half-hour episodes as opposed to 40. Like I could watch like 6 half-hour episodes just like in a row. But like if I would watch like 4 45-minute episodes, I would fall asleep between like
Really?
after the first 2. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's for some reason because they're longer. I feel like because I've got more to get through. It just seems a bit more draining to watch. I don't know.
Short bursts.
Yeah, short
Short
bursts.
bursts.
Yeah.
I must admit, 13 Reasons Why? That did take me a little bit longer than I expected because that was kind of emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And frustrating as well. A very frustrating TV series. But I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a sec.
Yeah.
But actually, go back to your Pirates of the Caribbean. The newest one coming out is only going to be 130 minutes, which is just over 2 hours, which makes it the shortest of the franchise.
Is it the last one?
Yeah. It's kind of... I don't know how that bodes for the
Well,
film.
I think, it looks like they're bringing back old cast. I mean, it's going to come back to a storyline where everyone could probably have a link with the other ones. Because the fourth one, how many have they had? 5?
This will be the 5th, I think.
So the fourth one had like literally nothing to do with the other films. So that was kind of...
And then you've always got Tarantino's films are generally pushing 3 hours, aren't they?
Well, Tarantino's films are quite interesting, aren't they? Because he says
Yeah.
that all his films revolve around in the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So,
it something that...
yeah, he said that. He said that like Kill Bill is like a TV series that they would watch in that world, kind of thing. So it's not necessarily Kill Bill is associated with that world, but it's something that they would watch, kind of thing. And then I suppose Django would probably be years before or something like that. So yeah,
Man, I love his films.
they are really good.
What's your
so good,
favourite
and then
Tarantino?
action.
Yeah.
Blood
I've only
everywhere.
seen-
Ketchup.
I've only seen like 2 of them, I think.
To be fair, he's only done like 8.
Isn't he only doing so many?
Yeah, I think
I
he's going
watched-
to get to 10 and stop.
I watched one on Netflix. Well, I didn't watch all of it. I watched like 40 minutes of it, and it was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Which one was it?
I can't remember what it was
Kill
called.
Bill,
So-
Jackie.
So
No.
his
We're just gonna name
films
them all.
are Reservoir Dogs, Pulp
Seen that. I
Fiction,
haven't seen that.
Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2,
No.
Jackie Brown, The Hateful Eight, Inglourious Bastards, Django, and Death Proof.
Death Proof. Is
Death
that part?
Proof.
Is that part of the 10?
That's the Grindhouse one he did with Robert Rodriguez.
When was that Death Proof?
08?
It might have been that.
It's about a car and Kurt Russell just runs people over.
I think it was that. Yeah, I watched.
Kurt Russell. What
I think
are
it's
you
better.
doing?
I watched a bit of it, and I was like, this is
That is comfortably his worst film.
yeah, I was like, this is crap.
But what's your... I don't know how many...
I've
Tarantino
seen
films
I've seen all but Death Proof, and I've seen halfway through of Hateful Eight.
Okay,
But the
which
rest
is
of
your
it
favourite?
I've seen. It's a hard one because it's probably Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Why?
I still need to watch.
Because I just think it's funny, and it's like it's just so like, I don't know, it's well good. I really like it because I was gonna say Reservoir Dogs, but I think there's times where I think right, okay, this is a bit, I don't know. I just think it's funny because the other one's funnier.
I think Pulp Fiction, yeah, it's got a great soundtrack, great actors.
Yeah.
It's also like broken up into little like vignettes, so that kind of jumps around
Yeah.
between stories. I think the way he structures his films is so clever. Like, you know, the little things kind of interconnect, and you don't imagine that they would. John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson obviously really good in that.
Yeah, good chemistry actually. I was quite surprised by that.
I don't know whether that's my favourite or whether it's toss up between that, Django, and Kill Bill. Like,
Yeah,
Kill Bill's
Django's
incredible.
pretty good actually.
I'd say my favourite probably is Inglourious Basterds.
That is,
Okay.
I mean, that's a good film. I think that's
For
really
what
clever.
reason?
The free finger thing's really clever in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole scene actually
Yeah.
in the bar is
That's spot on, yeah.
absolutely great.
Why is that your favourite?
I don't know. I love any film that's kind of related to that period of time. So anything, you know, World War II.
It's a war film, not about war, isn't it? Or doesn't feature much war in it.
Well, I mean, they kill Hitler. So it's an alternate universe.
Yeah. I think Kill Bill 2 is one of his worst films as well. Because Kill Bill 1 is all the action and Kill Bill 2 is all the talking.
I don't think either of them are very good, to be honest.
Kill Bill 1's decent.
Never seen it.
I mean, Jackie Brown's pretty good. I was surprised by that.
I don't remember that one. I need to rewatch that one. But yeah, I think Tarantino's probably one of my favourite directors.
Mm.
It would be a shame if he does retire.
Well, what is his next one?
Don't know.
See, I thought he was going to stop at Hateful Eight.
There's always been rumours of him doing Kill Bill 3 and also like a film about the Vega brothers, which is like John Travolta's character from Pulp Fiction, and one of the characters in another one of his films.
Do you reckon he should stop now whilst he's ahead? Because if anything else comes out, do you think you might be disappointed?
Well,
or
you
do you
could
think
have
he's
said
only
that.
got
Sorry.
the...
You could have said that after Inglourious. You could have said that after Django. It's like, I think his films build so much anticipation because they're kind of like a rare event.
Yeah.
So I think they'd always do well.
Well, Death Proof.
Yeah, but that was part of a like experimental double bill. So I'm sure people like Death Proof. If you do like Death Proof, please let us know like why.
I need to watch it, to be fair, before I make a judgment call. So
I can lend it to you.
you're such weird niche films.
I wouldn't say Tarantino films particularly niche. Look at the tons of
Yeah,
DVDs
I
you
mean,
have there.
yeah, that's
you know,
true.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah, mate. Look, you got to watch
Swamp
Swamp
Thing.
Thing.
John's gonna be really well.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty.
I'm not going home.
Why they lose?
Losing 3-0.
Oh
Oh
dear.
dear! So we just had an update that Liverpool 3-0 up at West Ham, which is pretty crap. So let's talk about Sleepless, Obi.
Can we not spend too much time on this? Because it's.
I think we need to spend a lot of time just ripping this film to shreds.
It's
Like Chris
so-
has seen it as well.
I did tell you guys.
It is so no, Chris. You didn't say it was as bad as it actually was.
Because I was thinking maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I was being really
Oh.
pessimistic.
To be
But
fair, I was-
after you lot came out and said it was really bad, I was like, yes, I was right. Okay.
To be
The
fair, I was-
trailer made it look good.
This is the thing. I was always going to see this film because I thought the trailer made it look like at least
And
half
it's Jamie
decent.
Good
Foxx.
marketing,
It's Jamie
mate.
Foxx,
Good
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, they really did like market it well.
True.
Like having "Energy" by Drake on the
Yeah.
on the sound on the trailer, which doesn't feature at all.
Yeah, innit? What the hell? And
Yeah.
I would say it's comfortably
the worst
the worst
film.
film I've seen this year.
Yeah,
Comfortably.
definitely. I mean, yeah. So Sleep was kind of marketed as a, well, we refer to it Black
Black
Taker,
Taken, yeah.
and it was just so shit. Like
It was
what
rubbish.
Just the storyline was just poor. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a bad storyline. There was like no context before
Yeah.
to like suggest that this was going to happen. Or
Okay, so what's the synopsis of the film then?
you guys were probably better off saying that than me because you've more recently seen
Is
it.
it just the same as Taken?
No, it's like a. It's not.
It's-
Jamie Foxx plays a policeman, and his
Crooked, inverted commas policeman.
and his partner is T.I., the rapper. And then they basically steal some drugs, or intercept a drugs kind of trade,
Yeah.
and then the drug dealer finds out it was him, and then steals his kid, and then they basically try and get him back.
Spent all night in a casino trying to get him back.
Yeah, and
And then you got the other woman who's trying to. She thinks he's a crooked cop, even though he's
The-
not a crooked cop.
the Inland Bureau or something.
Yeah, and
Internal
then,
affairs.
and then
That's
she
it.
basically messes up the whole thing because she takes the drugs that he hid that he was
Yeah.
going to give back,
Yeah.
and then it's just a mess. Like there's so much going on, but so little in that so much.
Is
Do you
that
know what I mean?
when
Like,
he goes on his killing spree?
There's
Did
not
he even kill that
not
many
really
people?
killing
I don't
them.
think he did.
Honestly,
no.
I feel like
Shame.
I think
like-
his son had more action than he did.
literally, I've watched many Police Academy films, and Jamie Foxx may be the stupidest policeman I've ever seen on any TV show or film ever. His character is just so thick. Like, he's supposed to be a lieutenant or whatever, and he's supposed to be like undercover for 2 years or whatever, and he's just so careless. Like, I was literally, me and Glenn were, it's the only time, like, because it was not lit, there was no one else in the theatre.
Yeah, it was just Obi and I.
And me and Glenn were just talking through all the bad stuff. Like, I've never done this before. Me and Glenn were literally just thinking, this is shit, this makes no sense. Like,
We should have recorded it. We were just slating it.
Honestly, like, so much stuff, like, you would think that an experienced policeman wouldn't do. So, for example, when he gets the call from the drug dealer saying, like, we've got your son, sort of thing, and he takes the drugs to go and meet him, the policeman who suspects that he's crooked is following him. And surely, as a policeman, you would know to be trained, like, if someone's tailing you or something like that. So, obviously, he just goes to the place and lets someone follow, completely oblivious to the fact that she's following him.
Yep.
And then he goes into a fucking toilet and hides the drugs and a gun in the toilet. And I was like, what a stupid place to hide it.
But he doesn't, and then
And,
he
like,
leaves footprints all over the
exactly
on the seat. So
and like, surely he must know, because he's going to meet the people who own the casino. Surely he must know that the people in the casino will have cameras, and they'll see you going into the toilet with a bag, and then obviously coming out with a bag. And when they say, "Where's the rest of my drugs?" they're obviously gonna know. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got them hidden." They can just be like, "Well, we've got you on camera, mate, so we probably know where they are." I'm not gonna lie. Like, honestly, it was just so silly. Like, it's just, and then he tried to get fake drugs, and he put flour in the bags, and the guy was like, "This is sugar," and I was like, "No, it's not sugar. That was definitely flour or whatever." It was just so crap.
It's the fact that they don't test it for about 10 minutes either. He gives them the fake drugs.
And sorry, Glenn. And also, when he gets away with it, yeah, and he gives them the fake drugs, and he gets his son back, and they're just walking, they're like strolling out. They hug for time, and then they're strolling out of the casino. Like,
that was something I was going to say, is
sooner
there is
or later-
no urgency to any of the
Thank you.
characters.
Sooner
Well, I
or
suppose
later-
I suppose you don't want to run out, because then it'll give.
They don't run at all. They got people chasing them, and they're just like strolling along, man. And it's
Fucking
like,
hell.
when his son gets taken at the point, like, fair enough, he gets stabbed, so he's like, can't chase them that much. But he gets in his car and he's like, oh, that's so inconvenient.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh my god, where's my son? Where's my son? He's
And he just sat there for like,
he was just
like
like-
a minute, banging on the fucking steering wheel.
It was just like, oh, that's, I have to go and find it now.
And
don't I?
also, like, this really annoys me, but like, T.I., I can understand, because he's from Atlanta, I think, so he's got a southern accent, so some of the stuff that he's saying, I don't really understand it, so it's fair enough. But Jamie Foxx, I've heard him in many films before. He tried to put on this weird, like, whispery, talking, like, accent, and he was, like, talking really fast, but whispering.
Like Liam Neeson.
Literally, Black Taken. Literally, half of the stuff he was saying, I don't know if you felt the same, but half of the stuff that Jamie Foxx was saying, I could not understand, because he was trying to put on
I wanted to turn the volume up.
Honestly, he was trying to put on this weird voice, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like,
The acting was just poor.
The acting was rubbish.
And it was really predictable. So like,
predictable.
the quote-unquote twist of who the dirty copper is.
Yeah.
I said to you, I was like, it's him.
Like half an hour.
Yeah, I was like, it's him. He just looks suspicious.
Yeah.
It's just a complete mess of a film. Absolute
And
shambles.
even that guy, the crooked cop, he's a mug as well. Because I said to Glenn, like, so right at the end, right, he thinks he's gotten away, basically, and his partner, they're driving away towards prison.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy they've arrested is in the back seat with him. His partner, who's a clean cop, is in the front seat, and the policeman driver is in the front seat. So they're driving. The clean cop discovers that her partner's dirty. So here's where she's done. She gets a phone call, right, and she's like, and then puts the phone down, looks back and stares at him for time whilst grabbing her gun, and then gets her gun out bare slow to say like freeze sort of thing. And then they get in. For one, that's done because she should have just got the phone call quickly. Like, as quick as you can, not stare at him for time, smile, and then, honestly, stupid. Secondly, so the guy, the crooked cop basically shoots everyone in the car and causes the car to flip over, right? Mm-hmm. And so when he gets to the car, he's injured, but he's not dead. So he gets to the car and he says, oh yeah, the prisoner tried to grab my gun, he ended up shooting everyone, blah, 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 like everyone's dead, sort of thing. And then the clean cop comes out the car because she shot him, but she hasn't. He shot her, but he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
He comes out the car and she's like, "Oh, arrest him. He's dirty," sort of thing. What he should have done is said when he come out of the car, is said that the clean cop was the crooked one and she shot all of us, because then it's just your word against hers.
Yeah.
Rather than her coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, he's dirty," because then you've got nothing, no one to put it on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The action was weak. The plot was weak. Acting was weak. It was just all. And T.I. is in it for about 4 seconds.
He's literally barely. He's in about 4 scenes. He's barely.
I was just like, what the hell? And there's this whole subplot about, you know, undercover policemen trying to get rid of all the dirty cops, which was just kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
It was like you're saying, there's no development of that, and there's no, you know, no scenes of him actually trying to figure out who it is. I mean, it's basically, you just see kind of like a map on his wall where he's trying to figure out all this stuff. That's how you know that this particular cop is dirty. And they kind of set it up for a sequel as well.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not want to watch this.
How do they set up for a sequel?
Because they have the guy in the lift. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Whatever your name is."
No problem.
Yeah.
And also, so according to the film, the T.I. and Jamie Foxx have been like friends or best friends for like 20 years, which we didn't really like know beforehand, because their relationship doesn't seem like a very like best friend sort of relationship. So, and then he's like, so like T.I. was like suspicious of Jamie Foxx because Jamie Foxx is investigating T.I. because T.I. is the crooked one of the two, and he's like, "Oh, how could you be Eternal Affairs for 2 years and you didn't tell me," or whatever. Or he was like, "Are you Eternal Affairs," or something like that. And I was like, "You've been best friends for 20 years and you don't know that your best friend apparently is Internal Affairs."
Yeah, but if he's investigating him,
He wouldn't have
But
told
he's
him.
only been
wouldn't he?
undercover.
wouldn't
He's only
know.
been undercover for 2 years. Surely before that he was Internal Affairs. No.
I don't know.
Don't know, mate.
Or maybe they asked him to do it because he was so close to him.
Maybe.
None
I
of
don't
it
know,
made
but
any fucking
they didn't
sense.
really explain it, did they? So
It's not explained very well
Yeah,
at all.
that's not like a good partnership, is it? Though?
No.
Like investigate your
Should
partner.
be called sleep-inducing.
And why was it Sleepless? I mean, another thing kind of went on all night, but they didn't really make like a big deal.
Well, it's not even all night because right at the end of the film, when one of the characters dies, and then you see his phone because it starts ringing, it says it's 2:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I was like,
actually,
yeah. I was
So,
like, this film hasn't gone on. It should have been called like, you know,
Why was
just
it called
a
Sleepless?
casual
Like,
morning or something.
The whole film was just an absolute shambles. And also there was the guy, the security guard, that was going after Jamie Foxx, and they were fighting for a good like 2-3 minutes, and they were like doing like hand to hand sort of combat, and then they both grabbed knives and they were trying to cut each other up with knives. And then before me and Glenn found out like 2 minutes later, the guy had a gun on his waist.
Yeah.
So why didn't you get the gun out and shoot him, you fucking retard?
And also, but that also to the scene where they're fighting in the kitchen, it was just ridiculous because it was just silly. It wasn't entertaining because they're just like, you know, they're covered in flour and it just looks absolutely ridiculous.
And also, so when Jamie Foxx has been stabbed, from like the start of the film to the end, he just goes through the whole thing with like a flesh wound, and so when at the point where the people who he's supposed to deliver the drugs to find out that the drugs have been missing because one of the cops followed him and took the drugs from where he hid them, he has to go and like make fake drugs, like I said earlier, make fake drugs and put them in a bag, and so he tries to make himself look like a drug dealer to try to fool the person who he's giving the drugs to. So he goes to this casino, manages to find the dry cleaners, and just there's people walking around like working in that. He just walks into the dry cleaners and just looking around looking for suits, manages to take a suit and put one on, and just like, then he goes into the kitchen and does the flour and all the drug stuff, and not one person has questioned him to say, "What are you doing here? Like, who are you?" It's only till like 20 minutes later, he's walking through a hall, just a random hall, and the janitor is like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And then he just beats the janitor up and takes his fucking overalls and his
And he
his
chooses
badge.
to wear a white shirt.
Even though
It's
he's
like,
bleeding.
you are bleeding.
Yeah.
If you don't want to arouse suspicion, don't wear a fucking white shirt. And he has like 4 costume changes.
Yeah.
If he just stuck in the same costume and ran a little bit, that film could have been about 40 minutes shorter,
man.
and he would have got his son back.
It is so bad.
Oh, dreadful. Don't watch it.
I'm pretty sure everyone in like Jamie Foxx's ex-wife or wife, and the son. I'm pretty sure they all killed at least one person each.
It's just like, it just kind of seemed like everyone who was in that film just had to do it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't seem enthusiastic about it at all.
Yeah.
It was just so pedestrian.
Out of 10?
Oh, 3?
Four.
Yeah, 3.
3, like...
It's really bad.
It's got a 5.5 on IMDb.
It's got 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, and there's a film called John Q. Everybody watch it. It's got Denzel Washington in it, which is really, really good, and that's got 22%. And I was like, that's bullshit, man. How can that be better than that? It's nonsense.
We'll have our own review website soon, I'm sure. So let's move on to Alien Covenant, which is a film that Ollie and I saw. So give us a synopsis. Give us where it fits in with the whole Alien franchise.
Universe. So it takes place after Prometheus.
Okay, and what's Prometheus?
So it's essentially a big enterprise has spent a lot of money in finding essentially the creators of humanity. So this rich man has this crazy obsession to find, because he doesn't believe in like evolution. He believes that we were genetically engineered. Okay. So he goes into space to find these beings, his creators. But it turns out that there's actually a plot whereby his creation, which is an android, that essentially turns evil and wants to create his the best life form ever, because his argument is that humans, our time is over because we're trying to colonize other planets, and so he's like, we've got to find the best life form that actually there is. So Covenant follows on from Prometheus, which was obviously a failed exploration mission, and this one is a colonizing mission to a new planet, but they get sidetracked, don't they?
Yeah, so they're trying to go to Auriga 6, and then they end up on a planet which I think is called Paradise, isn't it?
Don't remember.
But yeah, so they get sidetracked. They hear a signal, don't they?
Hear a song.
Some John Denver song, and then they follow that because they think it's going to be humans there, and then it all goes to shit, really.
All goes to shit. Classic Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little common sense in that film. Very little common sense from people.
That's okay. So what did you think of the film?
I did not enjoy it as much. First of all, not as much as Alien, which I watched relatively recently because I wanted to get into the idea. So, obviously, at some point they're supposedly supposed to be connected to the first Alien film.
Yeah. So Prometheus and Covenant are actual prequels to Alien.
Alien, yeah. But there's obviously going to be a third one, which is supposed to be called Alien Awakening.
A third prequel?
Yeah.
But it's also a prequel to Covenant, right?
Apparently.
So it's a sequel to Prometheus, a prequel to Covenant, which is also a prequel to
Which
Alien.
is in between.
Well, I don't know why you'd do that.
You said that way too fast for me to even comprehend what all
that's
that was
the
in.
point.
So
It's just
I
confusing.
think it's supposed to be the in-between of Prometheus and Covenant.
Why didn't he just make that and then make Covenant?
I may be wrong though, so don't quote me.
Nah.
But yeah,
I'll wait for them all to come out and then I'll watch them all, even Alien, Predator, the whole shebang.
I didn't like this film very much. I had quite high hopes because I actually quite liked Prometheus. Quite a lot of people didn't, which I think is why he kind of made this film to make amends.
I mean,
but
the
he's
thing
made
about,
it worse.
The thing was that Alien was totally new, but obviously there are loads of Alien films that are now out. Prometheus was, there's not actually an alien in Prometheus. It's all weird genetic mutations. So it's actually totally new.
Yeah.
Whereas Covenant is like a in between stage where there is an alien, and it's following on from Prometheus. So there's nothing new, and that is kind of gets boring.
Yeah, it just. So, I think it was. What failed was that they had too many characters. So it was about.
There's
15 characters, yeah.
15?
Whereas, yeah, so you said the original 7,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean there is little to no character development with any of them. Spooky shit going on here, and your room's haunted, mate.
behave.
Oh my god, did one of your little figurines just head move on its own? Anyway, so there's 15 characters, none of whom are really developed, so none of them you actually feel any sort of pathos for. So when inevitably they start getting picked off, I didn't give a fuck.
I did right at the beginning. The poor lady, poor James Franco.
Okay, yeah. So the main character,
'Cause they're-
Daniels, her husband is the captain, and he is the only one whose pod doesn't wake up, and is played by James Franco in the most pointless cameo. Because I love James Franco, you can't kill him off straight away. But
So wait, is he actually dead, or could he potentially still be alive later on?
No.
Nah, he's kaput.
He's kaput. But no, I feel bad for her because they're on a colonising mission, so they're all lovey-dovey, they're all partners, and her partner died, so she's like, fucking great. You're all going to be lovey-dovey. Mate,
Yeah, but
it's like
that's-
fucking last night.
But that's the thing, like, so all of them are pretty much paired up, but you never, like, you know, there's no development there of their relationship or any suggestion that they're, you know, lovey-dovey. It's just, oh yeah, you're my wife or you're my husband. And
The
that's
only
how
thing
cool.
that, I think, the main thing that I really didn't like about it was that it was all CGI, and the alien, it looked cheap and not scary.
Is Alien an actual alien? Because they look kind of robotic in the...
No, it's, yeah, they're called xenomorphs, but they are alien creatures. I guess alien's just a term for something that's not human, really, isn't it, I guess? But, yeah, I didn't find it frightening. I didn't find it tense, really, because I had no investment in any of the characters, didn't really care if they died.
I think it was tense at some points.
I don't know.
Very first quarantine is like, and she fucking, so she goes in to shoot the alien, she slips because the floor's wet because it's blood, and everyone in the cinema goes,
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
But they are stupid. So these are like space trained people, and then they land on a planet which they hadn't scoped out,
Yeah.
so they don't know what's there.
Yeah.
Do they wear suits? No. They just open the door. They don't know if, you know, there's no tests whether the air's going to be breathable. You know, they're walking around trampling all the ground. They don't know what they're destroying, what potential threats there could be. Yeah, they step on these.
Immediately.
They step on these kind of pods, and these spores are released, and they're just walking around like barefaced. And you think you'd wear some sort of spacesuit, you'd do some sort of tests. They just went in all gung ho, and yeah, people start dying, and then they like, oh, he's dying, bring him back on the ship. It's like, no, just leave him out there, get back on the ship yourself. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I was really disappointed because I thought this was going to be, I know, Chris, give me a comforting
There was a lot of hype.
pat. I don't. The thing is, I kind of feel like Ridley Scott's doing too much, man. Like, you don't need to revisit this. You're kind of, you know, potentially ruining your legacy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we'll have one more film. One more
Maybe.
film at least.
Yeah, I do want to rewatch them because they're decent films. But this was everything about it, man. Yeah, would not recommend.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. 6.5, 7.
Nah, not even. 7. That's decent.
Yeah, that's good. A 7 is good, I would say.
I'd give this a 5.
I'd say watch it and give us your input, give us your reviews. See
Yeah.
what you
I
think.
will watch all of them.
Okay.
Does it come to an end, like the whole franchise? I assume, like, because it's so it goes from this one to Prometheus.
Why is there
to-
never a happy ending?
So it goes then Alien 2,
3 and 4.
3, 4, Alien versus Predator,
Yeah, I
Predator,
guess.
Predator 1, 2, 3. Is that all of them? Am I
Well, Predator
AVP
isn't
2.
really part of.
Alien versus AVB?
AVP, Alien versus Predator 2.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright.
Yeah,
Is there an end to that?
I guess they're kind of.
I don't know. I don't think they're all interrelated.
No, Predator
Oh,
is
they're
not
not,
part
like,
of it. It
no,
was just kind of like a
Predator.
Freddy versus Jason thing. They just thought put these two characters, or like
Oh,
Godzilla
okay.
versus.
So if I was watching the Alien franchise, Alien versus Predator isn't a necessity to watch.
No.
I feel there would be a conclusion. Alien Resurrection's the fourth one, isn't it? But it's one of those things that you can just keep extending.
True.
So-
Yeah.
But yeah, tweet us your opinions on this Alien Covenant and also Sleepless. YSC Podcast 17. Instagram, Facebook at Your Average Critics.
Should we talk about something we do like?
What do we like then?
Well, I have a bit more news. You see about Maisie Williams?
I was Chris. You literally just. I was literally.
Sorry, mate.
Thinking
Is this-
that right.
Is
It's
this
read
the
my mind.
New Mutants?
Yeah, no, this is for Gifted, I believe it's called.
That's New Mutants.
New Mutants.
Yeah.
Mutants.
Gifted
Oh.
is the TV show. New Mutants is the film. No.
New Mutants is yeah, it's got Anya Taylor-Joy and Maisie Williams. It's the X-Men,
So what the hell's
not
Gifted?
sequel.
Gifted is the Fox TV show.
Yeah.
No, I get so confused. There's so many these days. Yeah, but Maisie Williams now joining the cast, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's lycanthropy. She can turn into a werewolf. She can be human. She can do a bit in between. So she could be part human, part werewolf. And I believe it's her ability. I don't know what the other girl's got. I feel like the other girl's a bit more of a ability's a bit more predominant. Like it's an ability that would be more useful than turning into a werewolf.
Is this part of the warped X-Men franchise? Is it completely separate?
I imagine it being the same.
Are we going to see
universe?
Sansa Stark as Jean Grey?
Well, this
She's
is the
in-
thing, because the new X-Men
Yeah.
film's called
Dark
Dark
Phoenix.
Phoenix, and Jean Grey, well,
This Phoenix.
the story is she's the Phoenix. I don't know if it can be passed on. I'm sure it has, because she hasn't been about forever. So
I thought we were done with X-Men.
No.
I thought
They're rebooting it, mate.
Ended.
They're rebooting
Well, there's-
the whole thing.
3 more X-Men films, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? New Mutants, Dark Phoenix, and I don't know, some other one.
I don't know what the other.
Be set in the 90s, isn't it? Or is this one? Set
That
in
is
the
that is
90s?
Dark Phoenix, I think.
Oh, maybe it's just 2. But then isn't there now an X-Men TV show or something you were saying?
So Gifted then would be the X-Men TV
Yeah.
show, which won't star James McAvoy in. It will not star him in it,
Okay,
I believe.
I don't know what it's going to be about, personally.
me neither.
But I saw a trailer. The trailer didn't really give anything away. It was just like 2 kids, like kind of messing about with their powers. Like I think one of them had like telekinesis and she was using it to get sweets out of a vending machine or something like that. But like my point that I said when I saw this was just like I think there's just a bit too much now. Like I think they need to try and spread these out a bit more because they're just bringing out all these Marvel like / X-Men like all these TV shows like quite at the same time, and I don't know, but like I'm not gonna have time to watch all this stuff. So there's obviously things that like you've got. So you've got Gifted, you've got Runaways, you've got Inhumans, you've got what else? Legion,
Agents of
Agents of Shield, and obviously all the Netflix ones. And like I just think it's too much personally.
Yeah.
I think they need to spread it out a bit more.
Oh, you got Cloak and Dagger as well.
Cloak and Dagger, yeah. I think it's becoming a bit saturated. Like
Powerless.
Yeah. Powerless. That's been cancelled by the way.
Has it?
Yeah.
So what?
And it's DC.
Has it? Oh.
Yeah, it got cancelled. But yeah, I just think that they need to slow down because I think because obviously the superhero like genre franchises is big as it's ever been. Obviously with all the DC and the Marvel films, I think that with terms of the TV shows and even to be fair, the TV shows, the DC ones especially, and obviously the Marvel Netflix ones are all quite popular. They're just thinking like we need to just rattle as many of these out as we can.
Yeah.
So like, I just think they just need to slow down because people are spread thin. So I think like ratings for obviously Agents of Shield been renewed for season 5, but I read that the ratings have been as low as they've been basically since the show started. So I think that's probably the case with a lot of other TV shows. Obviously I don't know ones for the other ones, like Agent Carter got cancelled, and there was rumours that this was going to get cancelled, that Agents of Shield was going to get cancelled. So like, I just think that people in general, because obviously you've got the nerd, like, I don't want to say nerd, but you've got like the hardcore, you've got like the hardcore like fan base of people who know these characters like inside and out, who are going to want to see these films. But for like the leisurely, you know, like because I like a superhero show, but I'm not like I wouldn't consider myself to be like a hardcore like know all the knowledge and stuff
So
like that.
for TV, do you think it's because they're quite similar? Because like obviously we watch a lot of TV, but we watch loads of different things.
Yeah.
So like The Walking Dead is obviously completely different to anything else that we watch, like The House of Cards. Whereas superhero films, it's cool. It's all kind. Oh, superhero TV. It's all kind of on the same level.
Yeah, it's similar-ish, I would
Yeah.
say.
The thing is, the only reason that I mean, I'm of the belief that they're only bringing out so many is to compete. So like
With-
DC, you've got their 5 solid TV series that go on, and
Yeah.
But they're
They're
all
doing really-
interconnected, aren't they?
well, no,
And
they're
they've got
not.
You've got Netflix as the Netflix
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, but this
That's
is
how
what
they
this,
rival this.
but this is what I mean. Like, so Marvel's Netflix ones are rivaling DC's CW ones,
Yeah.
and then you've got Fox's ones, which they don't have many of, and they're now trying to bring out loads, aren't they? So this
Yeah.
will be 3 that they have.
Yeah.
Then Hulu are probably competing. I know they're Marvel. Is it Marvel?
Yeah.
They're Marvel, but they're going to obviously want to compete against Netflix because they're a streaming service.
Yeah.
Then obviously you've got the Amazon Prime ones where you've got Preacher and you've got Lucifer and you've got
Constantine.
No, that's cancelled. But yeah, that was really good actually. But that's more DC ones. Like they're branching across all these different streaming services, and I think that's probably their key problem.
I
Like,
just think these are so niche that they're not gonna garner much in terms of viewership.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened with the TV series. I think it was Powers.
Okay.
Don't think any of you watched it. I'm guessing.
I remember you
did.
telling me about it.
So I'm not sure it's part of DC or Marvel. It was a separate thing. It only went on for 2 seasons. It was pretty basic as well. It wasn't very CGI and well, it did have CGI, but it was very basic compared to the ones that we watch. Don't know what's happening there. But yeah, so I mean.
Chris
Your
is trying to work his iPad.
The search function's not working. But I think you're definitely right. It's going to be far too saturated, and especially because they're not going to link into the films, are they? So
Well,
why would I bother
wait,
watching
what's not going to look into the films?
these Marvel shows?
Well,
There's
what
us-
ones are Marvel that we just said?
All the so Gift. That's pretty much everyone we just said.
Yeah, but Gifted might link in with
Gifted, Legion, Runaways.
Legion might
Cloak and
run.
Dagger.
No, but wait, hold on. You got Fox and you got Marvel.
Yeah.
Fox. So you Gifted and
Legion.
No, but Legion won't link in really. Well, it might
That's what
do.
I'm saying.
It might. Yeah, but
That's what
New
I'm saying.
Mutants might. Gifted might.
Inhumans as well.
Inhumans does link in with Marvel. See, like this is what I'm saying. Like, so you got Inhumans, which will link in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Will it definitely?
Well, it's always been planned to be.
Yeah,
It was
but
meant
the
to be
fact
a
that they
film.
made it a TV show and were introducing
But
it to
Agent Shield does link in with, but it does. So you can
Well-
say it doesn't, but it does.
I think I don't really watch Agent Shield, but I think with Agent Shield it's more like the films affect
the
Agents
show.
of Shield, but the show doesn't affect
No,
the film.
that's the
I think that's what Glenn's trying to say.
No, I think there was an episode across the episode, but you meant to watch before you watched Captain America 2, and something happened in Agents of Shield to show the Hydra had taken over. That did link in.
But then that would have spoiled
Yeah.
the plot point of Captain America 2, right?
Well, I mean, anything can spoil anything really if you get enough detail about it. So.
Well, I'll just say, like, I think they're doing too. I understand Fox is separate from Marvel. Does that mean Sony going to do Spider-Man TV show? Like, I think there's
Well,
going to be.
then you got another thing, haven't you? Because like, obviously Sony aren't doing Venom as part of the Spider-Man TV, as part of the Spider-Man universe. Would you like that or do you not like that? I mean that's gonna be an R rating as well, isn't it?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't mind
Get
that.
Doc Ock back.
I just
Get Doc
think.
Innit?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to
Bring
be
back
far
James
too
Franco.
saturated. And I think Marvel don't really need to worry about DC. Like, their shows are doing well, but their films aren't. And ultimately, it's the films that are going to make loads of money.
Oh my god, that came up the other day. Did you see that?
What?
About the woman who plays Martha. They
No.
asked her a question. They were like, can you give us any spoilers for the film? And do you think it'll be better than the Avengers? And she went no and no. but it was misinterpreted, so she meant no, I can't tell you any spoilers for the film, and
Yeah.
no, I can't say whether it's better than.
Oh.
And they just like completely like blew it out of proportion and had to
That's
write a
funny.
statement saying that
That's
that's what she
hilarious.
meant. I was like, that's a joke. So it's like,
But considering, so the first MCU film was like 2008, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes out, I don't know, 2011 or 12, and then within the last 5 years, all of these shows just gone.
Yeah.
I'm not. I haven't even watched Iron Fist or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of these. I've watched,
I
Luke Cage,
tried.
Jessica Jones and Daredevil, but it's too much. I want to watch like you said, I want to watch some diversity of TV shows.
Well,
I want to watch my Game of Thrones.
I think they are trying to mix it up though a little bit, aren't they? Because like for me, like you had DC. I'm gonna go with here on this one. So DC, you have the bog standard superhero films where you got Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, right? Then you've got iZombie, which is not a superhero film. It's a zombie thing, which is a funny zombie one, which is actually really good, isn't it? Then you've got Preacher, which is superhero-ish, but it's more anti-hero feel because he's like a priest. And then you've got Lucifer. Wait, is Preacher DC? Or is it?
Yeah.
Then you got Lucifer, which is about the devil and how he's come to Earth and doesn't want to go back down. So that's a bit more it is supernatural, but it's not superhero necessarily.
That's fair.
Then you've got it's Cloak and Dagger. No, that's Marvel, isn't
Marvel,
it?
yeah.
So what other DC ones you got?
Krypton.
Which, if that comes out, could be quite an interesting one because I'm the belief that people on Krypton don't have powers.
And then,
They're just a really intellectual race.
and what's the new one that's been announced? Black Bolt or Lightning?
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning.
That'll be another superhero one.
Yeah.
So
It's just a lot.
There is a lot. There's a lot.
I mean, for the people who love it, I mean, obviously this is your heaven, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think that the ratings will do very well,
yeah.
and I don't think that a lot of people will watch this because there's so much out at the same time. I mean, maybe if they stagger it as they're like maybe like one after another, but they can't go on continuously because even like with the CW shows, they're on like 4 out of 5 weekdays a week.
Well, 5. Is it?
Just 4.
Oh, 4. What am I saying?
Yeah. It's even to the fact where they actually put in America they put Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash on one after the other.
Oh, it's no, I'm right. iZombie, doesn't that count?
I'm just talking about
the superhero ones.
in that
okay,
universe,
cool.
yes. So like, I think people find that probably quite hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
So but like obviously if you do like for example you've got the superhero CW shows which start in October and then end in about like May, so around now, and then you've got iZombie which started what, a few weeks, like 6 weeks ago. So like, and that makes it easier to watch because obviously it comes out a bit later, so you can like, I don't know, like stagger it sort of thing. But I think if they all come at the same time, then I for one probably won't be able to keep on, probably won't be able to watch them.
No.
So.
I mean,
I still haven't finished Legion.
I think obviously I think DC have done it much better than Marvel because I think for Marvel you have Agents of Shield, like you said, like. Obviously, it's a matter of opinion. Like I feel like there's a lot of detail in there that could relate to the films, and it's still ongoing, 5 seasons. And then you got Agent Carter, which flopped. Then I just found out Powers was a Marvel one as well, but that was PlayStation Network streamed.
Oh wow!
So 2 seasons on that, so that's cancelled. Then you got Hulu, which is The Runaways, which God knows what that's about. Hulu, sorry, God knows what that's about. Then you got Cloak and Dagger, which looks quite interesting.
Yeah.
What's it on? Was it on Netflix?
I think it's ABC.
This is what I mean. Like you've got so many different channels streaming it. I think that's their biggest hindrance in getting people to watch it.
Yeah.
Like so, people tried to watch Agent Carter, and I did as well, and it was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. Agent Shield, I have watched it, and there's been good seasons, there's been bad seasons, and I've kind of stopped. But I do want to try and start again. But it's like it's already so you already you got to invest so much time to complete it.
Yeah.
And if you've got Inhumans coming out, which can I just say. Poster for it does not make it look appealing at all.
No, it's kind of bland, isn't it?
No, yeah, I think they should have just stuck with a film. I think they probably could have pulled it off, made it a bit jokey like Guardians. They could have probably pulled it off. But apparently it's meant to link. I don't know if it will or not. Then what other ones you got? You got loads, haven't you? There's absolutely loads.
There's so many, right?
And
I've got a question for you, right? So we're basically saying even within one kind of franchises or one brand's kind of roster of TV shows, they're on so many different networks, depending on where you live, right? So for us, it'd be PlayStation Network or Netflix or Hulu or Sky or whatever. Do you think that it's unlikely that one person has access to all of these TV like streaming services or whatever? Like you generally have Amazon Prime or Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Maybe you have some people have both, but do you think that having these shows spread out across all the networks kind of not encourages people to stream it illegally, but
I think
it definitely does.
definitely
Sorry,
does. Yeah. I'm jumping in
I'm
there,
saying
yeah.
that obviously
Yes.
they're not saying, oh, stream it illegally, but it kind of does in a way facilitate people wanting to do this.
100%.
Because it's
And
like,
this is why TV series get cancelled though as well, because like obviously people go and watch it illegally because they don't have all those streaming services and they don't want to pay. So I don't know how much Hulu is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a £5 a year. Maybe it is just a £5 a month. I'll say just. I mean, it equates to £60 a year.
Yeah.
But and if they don't do what Netflix does and bring it all out in a bulk, then you've essentially got to wait. If it's a 12-episode season, you've got to wait 3 months, and you've got to pay 3 months of subscription before you decide I'm going to cancel it.
yeah.
If you're paying that, and you're paying Netflix, and you're paying
Amazon
Amazon
Prime,
Prime, you pay for Sky.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
My
'cause
TV
Amazon
doesn't
Prime-
have enough slots for me to watch all of these things. Like I'm not getting up and changing the HDMI. It's bad enough doing that when I want to play Xbox, man. Like, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 4 just to watch Powers. I'm not going to buy Amazon Prime
Well, this is
just
the thing.
to watch.
I think you've actually got to buy it on there as well. It's not like you've got PlayStation Network so you can watch it. I think you've still got to buy it.
Yeah, I just think they
I could be
spread,
wrong
they
on
spread
that, though.
themselves too thin, and that means that they're going to get low viewership because only a certain amount of people have, each service. Also, within their own services like Amazon Prime, you've got Man in the High Castle, you've got Mr. Robot, you've got all of these things which are also competing within it.
Yeah.
And then, Netflix has got, apart from the 5 Marvel shows, they've also got House of Cards and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which I'm going to watch. Then Sky's got like Game of Thrones, all of these things. A, there's not enough time. B, there's not enough people. And C, they're all spread out too much. I haven't got access to all of these different things. So, not that we ever do stream it illegally, but if you want to watch all of these things, how are you going to do that without spending loads of money or doing something illegal?
Multiple TV screens, watching them all.
I
But this is the thing. Every streaming service wants, like, they want a piece of this superhero pie sort of thing to kind of. So like obviously Netflix, you've got the Defenders, all the Defenders and all them lot. So like Hulu will want Runaways to be their Daredevil, like. Yeah,
but they're never going to link, are they? Because if they're on different streaming services, it's not like Hulu's going to be like, oh yeah, we'll give you Johnny from the Runaways and you that Luke Cage and our thing. I reckon, in an ideal world, DC would be like, yes, we've committed to the CW.
They're bringing out their own streaming service as well.
Yeah. So in an ideal world, they would just pick one. So Marvel would be like, yes, we'll release all of our shows through ABC and also in the UK via Netflix or the CW or via Amazon Prime. Just boom. And then all the content's going to be hopefully the same quality, it's all going to link and you're going to have access to it. And then you can choose, okay, I really like DC, so I'll pick this particular streaming service.
But so like if you are DC and you're deciding which stream service to put these on, I imagine that will start a bidding war between all the streaming services. So like say if they bid for it and the price that they would normally have to pay for it goes up, then they might make their services more expensive for consumers. So in the end you might still end up having to pay more money as well.
True. Okay, well, let's talk about a Netflix original, quote-unquote, Netflix original TV show, 13 Reasons Why.
R.I.P. Jeff.
Oh, mate. So we spoke kind of unspoilery about it last week because Obi hadn't finished it.
Yeah.
Now you have finished it. We are going to be including spoilers for 13 Reasons Why. We'll try not to cover too much old ground, but you haven't seen it, have you, Ollie?
Not yet.
You gonna watch it?
I would like to at some point.
Yeah. So we'd rather read.
But you said it's emotionally draining, so
yeah, very.
I am quite.
I didn't find it that emotionally draining personally. I knew that last couple episodes.
Mate, I found Scrubs emotionally draining.
Fair enough.
And the Scrubs. So is this the kind of thing that need some tissues with?
I made for like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Would you rather us not spoil it then?
No, go ahead. It's alright.
Okay. So 13 Reasons Why, as we probably covered before, is the story of Hannah Baker, who is a teenage girl who commits suicide. She leaves 13 cassette tapes to a member of her class, and on each tape is a different reason and a different person why she killed herself. And the show basically follows Clay Jensen, who was someone that she was they worked together at a cinema. He's listening to the tapes and basically uncovers different threads of the story. So what did you think overall then, Obi? Because I recommended this to you thinking that you'd probably quite like it.
Yeah.
Did you like it in the way that he thought you'd like it though? Because he thought you'd like it for that.
For the teen.
Yeah. No, probably not for.
I didn't think that would be the case.
Probably not for the way you thought. Because obviously I talk a lot about shows that I watch that are like have the main characters are like teens and like stuff that goes on in high school, stuff like that. Because I quite enjoy watching it. But it was a good program. I did enjoy watching it, but not for that element. Because like when I talk about show like in like teen stuff, like I said yesterday, it's much more superficial.
Yeah.
And it's not too deep. Like I prefer it. So like for me, it's like kind of like watching sort of thing. So I can just watch it and then it's whatever. Whereas this one, you watch it and then you just like for a while, you're just like even throughout the episode, you're just thinking about all the things that's going on in this episode and like how stuff would happen in real life and things like that. So it's a bit different, but good all the same. Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a solid 8.
Yeah, okay, that's quite high then. Yeah. And in terms of, we were discussing about how horrible it is to, potentially how horrible it is for someone to basically say, yeah, you're the reason I died. What are your thoughts overall on the actual kind of structure of the the show and the reasons, I guess the reasons why, and
yeah, I understood most of it, but there was part of me that was a bit like, not annoyed at Hannah, but just a bit like, I don't know, I just kind of wanted her to maybe come at things. Obviously, it's hard to say because you have to try and imagine what she was going through at that time, and obviously, like, you're a teenager, like hormones and everything, so probably things that happen to you emotionally are like in heightened times 10, sort of thing. So like, it is obviously parts of it were difficult to watch, but like there were some things, some of the reasons of some of the things, I was thinking like is this like, maybe because I'm a male, I was thinking like, is this that big a deal? Like
what?
So pretty much her whole reasoning. So Clay was reason number 11.
Yes.
So pretty much
very unfair.
Pretty much everything she said about Clay was, I predicted that from the start as well. I predicted that her reason for Clay being one of the thoughts she died was that he was afraid to love her, which I think is fucking bollocks. Like,
love is a scary thing, man. To kind of someone he's presented as someone who's socially awkward,
very awkward.
And she's actually quite confident.
Yeah.
Or she comes across quite confident.
Yeah.
And for him, he's kind of dorky, and she's kind of this pretty young girl.
Yeah.
And the chemistry between them is so sweet, and I completely don't blame him for not.
It's because it can be terrifying. Like when you're young, like going up to a girl and saying like, I like you, X, Y, Z. So I feel like even in general in this TV show and in most TV shows and in general society, there's always this onus on the male to go up to the female and present himself like, I like you, blah 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 blah. But if she likes him, and I'm sure for most of the series, she does say at one point that she thinks Clay hates her. I don't know why she even said that, but she likes him, and I think she knows that he kind of likes her as well. At least likes her a little bit. So why not put yourself out there? And obviously she has been scarred by, Justin and all the other dickheads in the fucking show. But do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't because and she must know by being around him all the time that he is quite introvert. Yeah. So she kind of has to like bring him out of his shell, sort of thing. I mean, there were I think a couple of times where she was kind of like looking into his eyes, trying to like give him signals. I think, and he didn't really pick up on it because obviously he's like got those sorts of like social tendencies. But I just think, I don't know, maybe if she'd like worked a bit harder to, I don't know, maybe force the issue kind of with him, then maybe things would have turned out differently. But then obviously there are some reasons where, like, you just like they were saying last week that a lot of these kids are just really bad people. Yeah. Like obviously we've all been to school and everyone's been teased and made fun of and whatever. But I would suggest that throughout school you do have probably a core group of friends who are generally really nice people, or at least they're nice to you anyway, and you have like a support system that you can fall back on in case these sorts of things happen. She, I think, did have that with Clay, but she does. She says that she has no friends.
Yeah, so she doesn't consider him a friend, which is
this is the thing, which I think is really strange because you see they have a really, really tight relationship throughout the whole thing. Like they are genuinely friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know why she. Obviously, I've not really been in her situation, so I can't really say about feeling like depressed and whatnot, and not feeling alone. So obviously, she did feel alone. But I mean, there were people that like Clay was there for her to talk to. Her mum and her dad seemed, pretty supportive.
And what about her mate that moved away? I mean,
and
it didn't seem like. I mean,
phone.
Yeah, I mean, she could have picked up the phone, spoke to her. I mean, it works two ways, doesn't it? Like friendship.
It does.
Like she should have probably phoned her and stuff, but she's settling into a new life, isn't she? And I don't know what the period. I'm assuming the period of this listening to all 13 tapes is only about
3-4 weeks, I reckon.
Oh, I thought it was even less than that.
I think it starts in about October, and by the end of it, it's November, I think.
Right.
Okay, right. Like, so I got the feeling that it was only like 2 weeks long. But the tapes, him listening to the tapes, not the abuse that she got, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a lot longer.
I think that was the school year,
That was
wasn't
like
it?
a year, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, because I only picked up on it yesterday when we were talking about it briefly before this podcast. Like, when someone, I think it was you, and was saying, that she didn't talk to her. Like, she just pops up at the very end, doesn't she, of the whole thing.
So this is her friend who
Her
moves away
friend,
at the
yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
Because she gets subpoenaed, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets called down to...
Because at first I was like, who the hell is this? And I was like, yeah. But yeah, I also think, I want your opinion on this as well. She could quite easily be a tape on anyone else's... if anyone else, any of the other characters killed themselves, she would definitely feature on Alex's tape, Clay's tape, Courtney's tape probably.
It's an inherently. I mean, some people might disagree with this, but I would say suicide is inherently a selfish act, or can be a selfish act, and especially making those tapes and saying you're one of the reasons why I died is definitely a selfish act in itself. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to be as sensitive as I can here. Towards her feeling depressed, because she did have a lot of stuff did happen to her through a lot of these kids at school who are just like really, really horrible people, I think, anyway. But I just think, I don't know, I just don't like people committing suicide in general, so I think there's always another way to deal with these problems.
But it's also the fact that I know the whole point of this show is that it's the little things that can build up into a bigger reason. Yeah. But to have a tape, right? If Justin's got 2 tapes, but if everyone's got a tape, then they're all equated on the same level. Whereas you've got Bryce, who, spoiler, rapes her and rapes Jess. The counsellor, who basically tells her to get over it. And
which I maintain.
I mean, we'll talk about that specific episode a little bit more later.
Yeah, okay.
But so he basically, she finally opens up and says that what's happened to her. Yeah. Cry for help. He essentially
cryptically
can't help her.
Yeah.
That is not. It's not on the same level as saying she's got a nice bum, or kind of having a lesbian kiss and then feeling embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
That is not the same. And I know obviously that's probably why they were later in the tapes, but I kind of feel like, you're kind of equating them on the same level, and it's not fair.
Not fair. Especially Clay.
I'll tell you, that is the one thing...
Him to be number 11.
No, that's what really annoyed me, though, because she said, you're not one of the reasons why I died. And so, for someone who is socially awkward or unaware of things around him, it was probably quite... I mean, it is for anyone who's going to listen to all 13 of these tapes and have their name referenced so much, and then not be up until the 11th tape, and obviously you're waiting for that period of time. Yeah. But for you to say you're not the reason, you're not one of the reasons why, and then almost turn it and say, well, if you did this, this, and this, maybe I would have done that, that, and that. Yeah. I think it's very painful to put someone through that, and I think that one tape. I mean, a lot of the things in this TV series really irritated me, but obviously it's a very like I said, it's a subject that you've got to be a bit sensitive subject. You've got to be wary of. Obviously, I've never had the tendency to have these thoughts about it, so I can't really, like you said, can't really be in those shoes almost. But for that blame to be put on Clay was really, really infuriating, and then you see the scene where had he done something else, they might have had this great relationship. And I think the fact of the matter is, in that situation, and it's a difficult situation because obviously she was feeling very vulnerable in that moment, but it wasn't a two-way street in that moment, but she was vulnerable and she wanted him to hold back because obviously everything that's happened to her, it all came flooding back to her. But to have them put the scene in, and obviously it wasn't necessarily her tapes that said it, but to put the scene in about if he had stayed there and said, no, come and let me listen to you, let me be there for you, or for him to just sit in that room and just wait for her to calm down. I don't think you can really say that. I don't think you could say, if I was angry at someone, for someone to just sit there in front of me and just sit there, wait for me to calm down. I'm not sure that'd necessarily be the case. I mean...
So you're referring to the episode where basically Hannah Baker and Clay are getting off, and then she kind of
freaks out a little
so
bit.
They finally get together,
Yeah.
right? They're kissing, and this is obviously a big deal for Clay, and he keeps saying, "Is this okay? Like, are you alright with this?" And then she kind of gets these flashes of people saying, "Oh yeah, you know, you're a slut, you're easy, blah blah blah," and then she kind of freaks out a bit, and then she's like, "Stop, fuck off," and she basically just keeps saying to fuck off, and then he's like, "Okay, fine," and then he leaves, and then she's like, "Oh, you should have stayed."
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
You said one thing and he did it, and that's not his fault. That is your fault.
Exactly.
And like, I understand. Obviously, I'm not saying she should have continued kissing him.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, really, I'm not saying that.
yeah.
But
She should have said, "Look, I'm not feeling up to it right now because obviously I've had all this stuff happen to me in the past."
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd been very understanding. Like, I think,
Or at least don't be nicer about it. Don't tell them to fuck off continuously.
yeah. I mean, if she said it once, like, oh, okay, fine. Like, she's just had this like little panic attack, that kind of thing. But
and then you're referring to a scene where he kind of imagines if he'd said, "Oh, I'm not leaving. I love you," blah blah blah, and then they had a happy relationship.
Yeah.
If she's told you to fuck off several times, and then he's like, "I'm staying," that's kind of probably worse, you know, than you know, respecting her wishes.
She might be like, why did you stay?
yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, if you say something, you can't do the opposite and be like, "Oh yeah, I thought that's what you want," because actually that's somehow how rape happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, if she says no and it's like, "Oh, actually you do want it," like, no. If she says no, that's no. So yeah, and also what really fucks me off is the episode before when Tony and Clay go on that little hiking adventure, and then Clay's like, "Is it my fault?" And then Tony's like, "Yes." And then he's like walking over and he's thinking about jumping off himself. It's like, no, you're not, Clay. No, you're not. I thought the reason that he would be on it was because in a lot of the scenes, the first 7 episodes or whatever, he's always in the background when things happen to her. So like, if she's being teased, he's kind of there, and he doesn't. I thought his inaction would be a reason why he was on it. You know,
I think that would have made more sense.
Yeah, because he could have been like, "Hey," I know it's not in his character, but he could have been like, "Hey guys, you know, don't tease her," or even just go up to her afterwards and be like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, I don't think you're a slut," or anything like that. So,
I mean, I figured out. I'm pretty sure in my head just now. I figured out why she thought that Clay hated her.
Go on.
Because I think, obviously, because it's all a bit staggered, isn't it, when the events happen. And obviously Clay and her had that moment, and she told him to fuck off several times. And then that same afternoon or that evening, Jeff dies. And obviously she comes up to talk to Clay in the hallway, and Clay just says, "Not everything's about you, Hannah." And then he just kind of pars her off a little bit. Yeah. And says...
Wasn't it like... No, sorry, can't remember what you're saying.
No, but that's it. That's what I was going to say.
But like, when she says Clay hates her, that's like a couple of weeks later, isn't it? Like, when she says it when she's talking to the counsellor. That's the day she kills herself.
Oh, right.
So, and I'm sure they'd made up.
Yeah, they had actually. But then I think...
She complimented their hair that same day, I'm pretty sure. Or at least like a couple of days before, something like that.
Yeah, because she said, "Oh, they've replaced me already in the cinema," and he's like, "Oh no, they haven't really."
Yeah.
So.
I think, I think it was strong, and then after Clay's episode, it kind of went downhill. And yeah, so when I said last week, I knew there was a character that you can tell when the scene's in the past or the present, and that was Jeff, because from like episode 3 or whenever, I was like, he's never in the present.
I didn't clock he was dead until 5 minutes before they said he was dead.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He was such a nice character.
He was literally the only nice guy, obviously apart from Clay, he was the only nice guy on that whole...
Yeah, I think that's why they did it, isn't it? It's to like... Because he was that character that kind of was a bit of both worlds. He was like the jock, but he was nice, and he would... Yeah. And he would help. He was helping Clay. Clay was helping him. It was like kind of a give take relationship. And then it almost, you saw it from the beginning. Like, it was never a nasty relationship, but it was like they were only doing it to help each other out because they had to. And then it was kind of like Jeff was genuinely his friend and like trying to push him to be better himself, kind of thing. And it's like, it is a sad moment, isn't it? Especially as Clay was the first one on the scene.
Yeah.
And then to have to make the decision on whether he tried to help Clay, didn't he? And he couldn't open the door, and then he ended up helping the guy, didn't he?
But then also though, actually, in the episode with Tony and Clay, he says, "Oh, have you ever seen a dead body?" And Clay's like, "No." So you have though, haven't you?
That's true.
Well, maybe Clay was still alive when he saw it.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, sorry. Also, the scene where Clay goes to Jeff's parents' house.
Yeah.
That was pretty deep. And I thought, for him to go, I hated Jeff because I thought he was drink driving.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big moment in that TV series.
So let's give the listeners a little bit more context.
Okay.
So the big thing that triggers a lot of stuff for Hannah Baker is Jess's party. So this is where Clay.
Which one?
I don't know.
Is the first one Jess's party as well? Where it all starts?
No, she has a big party.
Okay.
And this is where Clay and Hannah get together. This is where Bryce rapes Jess. And this is where, following that, Hannah gets into the car with Sherry. And Sherry's hits a lamppost. No, a stop sign.
Stop sign.
The stop sign falls over. This means that...
I think it's a felony in the United States.
Yeah. Well, that's what she calls the police on herself, doesn't she? And then for this reason, there's a car crash because obviously one car hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And Jeff is in this car and he dies, but they thought that he was drunk. And so his parents and Clay and all of his friends have thought that he was a drunk driver and that's why he died. And then, so then Clay discovers that he wasn't drunk and it wasn't his fault. And then so he goes back to his parents' house, Jeff's parents' house, and says, Jeff wasn't a drunk driver. And like you're saying, that he said that initially he'd hated him for it.
Yeah.
Which must be a horrible thing to think that your child is died because of drink driving.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, so he tells the parents, oh yeah, so I have proof that he wasn't drink driving, and then for him to then just be like, but I can't give you that proof.
Yeah.
That's essentially what he said, wasn't it? Because he was waiting for her to come.
What is
I mean,
the
on
tape.
the tape saying that they knocked over the stop sign, and that's the thing is, these tapes have so much like damaging like evidence on it for like rape, misconduct of people, like the stop sign being destroyed. Like
I think one of your problems with it is that because Clay's number 11, 10 people have listened to this tape, and
not done anything.
Yeah,
because they're all scared about their own tapes, aren't they?
But their own some of their own tapes aren't that bad. I mean, Jess has been raped, so whatever her tape is, being nasty to Hannah and slap her in the face, that's not as bad.
Yeah, I understand.
The thing is, though, the thing with Jess's tape, like, the only problem with that is that she is kind of ignoring it because she doesn't want it to be true.
Yeah,
but she doesn't remember this happening, despite the fact that she must have later listened to the fact that Bryce raped Hannah, so it must be like, this has happened twice.
Yeah.
I just think the inertia of the people is kind of...
Like I said, these are some of the most, like, disgusting
people
I've ever seen portrayed on screen.
Like, because so the first person is
Justin,
who claims that he's done stuff with Hannah when he hasn't.
Yeah.
Did he actually do that? Like, I just think that's...
God knows. I mean, I think that's disgusting in itself. Then you've got the next tape where she's made some friends, and then her two friends. This is another one that doesn't really get... that. It just... I don't understand. Huh?
The list.
The list wasn't second, was it?
Oh, was it not? Oh.
No, the friendship... She made the friendship with Jess and... Alex. And then Jess and Alex became lovers, and then they stopped hanging out with her, wasn't that? Yeah. Wasn't that the second part? Yeah. And I thought that was itself was a bit strange. Like, I think relationships do lead people to be less inclined to like see their friends all the time because they're obviously with their girlfriend, but I think they still have their friendships with people. So, and then the list coming out, I mean, that was pretty bad as well. Out of all of them, I don't know where it scales in how bad it is. And then for Jess to blame Hannah, it's just that's a high school thing. I think that for someone to blame someone, like, it's just someone taking anger out, isn't it? But it's still bad. It's still bad. Don't misjudge what I'm saying. It's all very bad. Courtney's one is horrendous.
Courtney is a fucking bitch.
Courtney's one is just
so fucking annoying.
It's one of the worst, I think. Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's like you were saying, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
It's
like,
fucking silly.
So Courtney, she's basically like a closet lesbian, isn't she?
Yeah.
And there's photographic evidence that she kisses Hannah Baker and she doesn't want it to come out, so she's just really horrible to Hannah and basically says that she's just...
Well, like, her reasoning for her not wanting to come out was like, oh yeah... Because Hannah's like, yeah, it's 2017, no one cares if you're gay, which is true for them. I would say the vast majority of people. But she's like, oh yeah, I don't want it to come out because... my dads are both... She got two gay dads. And obviously... And they went through a lot of stuff, being gay, then having a child, stuff like that. And she's like, she doesn't want to put them through that. And I was thinking, like, put them through what?
If anything, they could comfort you more.
Do you know what I mean?
I think some of it was also the fact, I don't know if I misread it, but the fact that I think she thinks it will kind of be a nurture rather than nature thing. So that will be like, because her dad's a gay, that's predisposed her to being gay. But again, like, you'd like to think, even though there probably would be teasing, you know, maybe a little bit of bullying, that she should be confident.
And most people will accept you for who you are. And the people who don't, fuck them.
11 people have already listened to this tape.
And they don't give a shit.
11 people already know that you're gay.
Exactly, and they don't care.
But what also I think is a problem with the tapes is the fact that she does just air people's, like, secrets.
Yeah.
You know, that's bad in itself. That could cause bullying. You know, you are outing someone, which is their own decision to come out. And you basically, you know, you're saying that Tyler, is it? He's a kind of pervert, and Bryce a rapist. So things like rapists should come out, but you shouldn't out someone and other secrets like that.
Oh, that was another one that really, like, I mean, like, she had every right. Well, she had every right to be upset with all of this, but the guy who she went on a date with, who he was 2 hours late, he brought his mates along.
Marcus.
And he just grabbed her.
He's a fucking cunt.
What the hell?
That's what I mean.
That is messed
This
up.
school is full of horrible people.
Yeah.
Like, fucking thing, he says it. Tyler says it. Like, this school is full of shit. Like, he gets.
Yeah.
Although he's saying, oh yeah, I get shit every day, but it's like, well, that doesn't give you an excuse
but
to
then
go
that
around
tapes
taking
also incite people to throw rocks at Tyler and to take, you know, naked pictures of him, which is also two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, and that makes him
I've got a
bullied as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, there's a suggestion that he's going to then shoot up the school, which I think is the most cliche, stupid thing ever. Okay, I've got a question. So, episode 13, you see in horrendously graphic detail that Hannah Baker slits open her wrists and bleeds out in a bath.
You said that didn't happen in the book, didn't you?
Yeah, it doesn't. So in the book, this is based on a book. The book, she overdoses on pills, but the writers chose to show it in this graphic detail to show, like, you know, proper consequences and stuff of suicide, and like the horrors that it can be. But as viewers, did you want to see that, or would it have been enough? Because they say throughout the series, oh yeah, she slit open her wrists, blah blah blah.
Obviously, I don't want to see that, but I feel like it hit home.
Why?
Yeah, it definitely hit home a lot more.
I found that horrendously hard to watch.
Yeah,
it was. That's
I think that's the point, isn't it?
But the point is that it's hard to watch. The point
it's
is
literally from her wrist down to her forearm or elbow.
Makes me feel sick thinking about it now.
Yeah, I mean,
I know why they did it, because you can't have a show about someone slitting their wrists, and if they didn't show it, I think it kind of would have not made it as impactful and been like, oh yeah, it's just a fantasy, you know, non fiction. Whereas by showing it, it really hits home. It's like, fuck, this is actually what could happen if you do this. And I think in that respect, they needed to do that to put people off. In respect,
do you think? So I want to ask that, because we're all obviously out of school, so we can't go back and not do the things that we did, because I think, you know, as we were saying, we've all had shit and shit happens at school, but like, do you think actually kids at school are going to see this and change their behaviour, or not so
well,
much?
what was it? We were hearing yesterday that a letter got sent out to our school that we went to secondary school, that's saying to parents for children not to watch the show, wasn't it?
Really? I think it's important for children to watch it. There are a lot of themes in this that are important, like suicide, bullying, rape,
all these reasons. That's why they said don't watch it.
Sexuality.
That's why they said don't watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's doing it a disservice.
So do I.
I think,
if anything, that'll make people want to watch it more.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things in this, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think a lot of things in this series would not happen at the schools we went to, personally. I don't even know, but I think a lot of things just wouldn't happen, personally. But I could be wrong.
If anything, what schools should do is encourage people to watch this and offer them the support that they need. So offer them counselling or, you know, whatever it is that they might need. Yeah. And then that way the show is beneficial. Also, I think, we...
Because it would be a massive wasted opportunity otherwise.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys have...
And to raise awareness for things like Samaritans.
Yeah.
So, if you're feeling lonely or depressed or suicidal, there's support there that can help you, like confidential, kind of anonymous things like Samaritans, which we tweeted out a link to last week. We'll do it again this week. It's a very important show. I think there are a lot of things wrong with it in terms of the conceit of it all, but overall they had the right message.
Also, I think the moral of the story is literally just to treat others how you would like to be treated, because you never know how, like, something really, really minor to you could affect someone so much more.
Yeah.
And like that could be something, like I say, that's piling onto other stuff. Even there was a bit with Justin who said at the end he nearly killed himself as well.
Yeah, and then Alex does
try to kill himself, exactly. So like, I just think people just need to be more aware of how they act and how what you're doing affects other people. It's so much easier to be nice to someone than it is to be horrible to someone.
Yeah.
So just like, try and be nice, make friends.
I want to know,
Make friends.
Ollie, now that we've pretty much told you everything, do you still want to watch it?
Yeah, I think you guys have convinced me to watch it even more, actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because we'd love to hear your opinion on it, because it is powerful. I mean, watching the scene was so upsetting,
really
and then her
upsetting.
mum so I was watching it and with someone, and when the mum comes in, she's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, great, and she just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the person I was watching with said, that's not a realistic reaction, she would break down into tears. I was like, that's denial.
Yeah.
You've seen your daughter, she bled out in a bath.
Yeah.
You don't know how someone's going to react to that. It could be denial, she's not dead, it's just this is a dream or whatever. And then her father comes in and basically just collapses. So that, the different reactions.
It definitely hit home on, like, obviously you had the main story was obviously all this stuff happening to Hannah, and obviously all these people, like, there's such bad people in this world that do this kind of stuff. But then I think they did it really well, showing how the family, like, operated, not operated, but like how they processed it all afterwards, and it was quite. That was hard, I think, to watch at times, because you didn't know, like, how to react for them, and, like, obviously to be in that situation is a very difficult one, and for them to, like, not know why she did it, almost kind of could put the blame on themselves in a way, because they don't know. And then for them to hear the tapes at the end, I mean, obviously the very ending is you're assuming she's going to listen to the tapes. For them to then hear that afterwards and know their daughter didn't come to them for that comfort, it's also quite a strain. And
She didn't leave a suicide note or anything like that.
No.
Like, I think in a way, like, I think it's not good, but I think in a way, I know that who's the guy who's always following everyone, making sure Tony doing it was it's not nice, but because he although he did it because that was her name, Laura?
Who?
The main character?
Hannah,
sorry. Okay, sorry, I forgot. So almost do what Hannah wanted and make everyone listen to these tapes was, okay, fair enough, because that's what she wanted. But then to not tell the parents was kind of... He could have given them so much relief.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would give them so much anger and, like, upset, because obviously, like I said, that she had their daughter didn't talk to him.
They have a
But,
right
like,
to know, though.
They do. And I feel like in some points of the tape, she's not meaning to blame them, but she could almost blame them as well.
What, the parents?
Yeah, because obviously, like, when she forgets the money on the roof and the money falls and she loses the money, and then obviously, like, she feels like she's done her parents an injustice, and it's almost added to the, like...
They'd forgotten about it by then, didn't like that, to be fair. It didn't seem like they were angry.
No, they were like, it's done, innit? It's like, what can they do, really? Like...
Sorry.
Go on.
Sorry. Because I was thinking about that episode. So that's the episode where she goes to Bryce's party and he rapes her. So obviously, like, Bryce is a fucking cunt, so whatever. But I just think that sometimes in life, obviously, you need to think about what you're doing before you do it. So you need to learn not to put yourself in situations that could potentially be dangerous. So I might be completely wrong, but I'm imagining that she knows where it's Bryce's house and it's Bryce's party. Obviously, maybe she didn't know at the start, but obviously when she gets in there and she sees him and he's like, "Oh, hi, Hannah," blah blah blah. Like, if it's me, obviously I'm not her, but if it's me and I find out, and she knows that she already knows, she's witnessed him rape someone already. Like, as soon as I find out, she was just wondering. As soon as I find out, suddenly I'm walking towards Bryce's house and you hear music, you probably assume that because he has lots of parties. So as soon as I think, oh shit, I'm walking towards Bryce's house, I'll turn around and walk home for a start. 1, that's fine. 2, when she gets into the hot tub and whatnot, like, when everyone gets out, like, would you not just have a look around and see, like, oh, it's only me and Bryce here, I should just get out? Do you know what I mean? Rather than she sits there for ages, closes her eyes for a while, and then opens her eyes and Bryce is in the hot tub with her, and obviously won't let her leave, and, you know, he does whatever. So I just think, like, obviously I sympathise with rape and whatnot, and hopefully if they do when they do season 2, hopefully Bryce goes to prison and whatever happens to him. But I just think you need to kind of try to be more what's the word? Maybe not smarter, but maybe more vigilant of situations, like potentially dangerous situations that you could put yourself in.
Lessons from Obi there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with series 2. Don't know if there'll be another 13
My thought is that
they
if
don't really need
it's
it.
still got Hannah in it, then it might be to do with I nearly forgot her name again. That maybe it was to do with like you said the other day, the trial maybe, and see other people's perspective on it. But then I just don't know how they're going to introduce her into it again.
I would have
unless Clay's seeing her or something.
It'll just be flashbacks, I reckon.
I would have liked a more definitive conclusion.
Yeah, I think it should just be one season.
I think it would have been really good as just one season.
Yeah, so just a few more episodes would have done. But
Yeah.
then that's kind of would have taken away from the 13 reasons.
I think like one more episode would have done just to wrap everything up. I think it would have been alright.
I think, like, because you see in that the trial, the like mini trial bit, isn't it? When they're deposition, like obviously the guy who does the photography was like, well, there's tapes and stuff like this, and does Jessica say about her rape? I don't think she does.
Not in a position. No. She's to her dad later, I think.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Tony will get pulled into it as well.
Yeah, almost definitely. I think it would have been interesting if they explored her as an unreliable narrator more. Because the fact that a lot of people initially are like, she's lying, and I was like, well, maybe she does lie about certain things or misrepresents certain things. But it kind of seems that everything she says was like
because
God's honest truth.
Yeah, because the guy, I've forgotten his name again. The guy whose dad's a cop, Alex. Like he was adamant. He was like, well, she's not lying, is she? She told the truth. We've all done these bad things. And like he takes it the worst out of all. And like a lot of them take it on their shoulder as if like, well, it's happened, I'm not blaming myself, kind of thing. And he just really
took it hard.
Yeah, and if anything, like his one was probably one of the lesser of the. Well, it depends how you could argue.
You could argue that his one kind of led to Bryce's
one. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Bryce is just a scumbag.
That's exactly the thing, though. Little things like saying she's got a great arse.
Yeah, I mean,
leads people to gripe.
I mean, not even because he actually thought it, just to piss off. What's her face?
Yeah. I mean, this is it. Like he obviously saw the conclusions of it, and that's why he inevitably tried to take.
Interestingly, one of the you see only parts of it, like best arse, best tits, best face, whatever. So Sky, who's Clay's friend, she was one of the worst. I can't remember which one, but she had like worst arse or worst face or something. Again, that's really horrible.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I think the reason why he kind of. Says to her at the end, "Do you want to hang out?" is because he thinks that she's suicidal, and obviously she cuts herself. So, okay.
But he did say They did say they were friends, weren't they? And then they took different paths. Yeah.
I would have liked a bit more context with that.
I mean, this is why they've got season 2, haven't they? I mean, they've kind of. I just hope they don't take away from what they've done, because they've done something really good here, and I hope that season 2 doesn't take away from that.
Yeah.
Because it could, like, they could.
Surely it can't be the same conceit. They can't have 13 tapes. Unless it would just be a standard,
then what do they do?
Linear series.
Would they make it like an extra few episodes long just because? Or I
don't know. It could be a film.
So that's wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked in depth about this, and I feel like.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, it's a very You say it because you're probably saying good words.
No, I was just going to move on.
No.
I was going to say we haven't done it from the archive this week, so it's my turn. I am going to break from tradition and talk about a TV show.
Yeah, man.
So I am going to talk
What do you mean? I
about.
talked about a TV show.
Oh, did you? You talked about Chuck.
Chuck.
Damn it!
Thought you were special.
Damn,
Yeah.
man. But yes, I'm going to talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh, good.
Wait, hold on. Can you?
Of course I can.
It's from the archives that are still ongoing.
I was going to talk about Series 6.
But-
Which is last year. So it's archived.
Okay. Alright.
Specifically
Controversial,
about
right?
Series
Yeah.
6.
Controversial move.
Because Series 7's coming out in July. And I'm sure we'll do more of a proper in-depth Game of Thrones podcast because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But I want to talk more specifically about Series 6. So Series 6 is the latest series. It is the culmination. I'm just going to talk assuming that you know who these characters are. If you don't, you'll need to wait for our spoilers, but podcast special. But it's such an exciting series because it's fucking breakneck pace. Like, I forgot how quickly things happen. So, end of Series 5, Jon Snow gets stabbed. Series 6, pretty much straight away, gets revived.
Yeah.
It's you understand that Melisandre is an old crone, and that a lot about her is kind of just a superficial illusion. The Dawn storyline, completely pointless in Series 5. Everyone hated it, so they pretty much just ended that. Like, so many people die so quickly. It was just so interesting to watch.
What was that?
Saying that so many people die, it's so interesting
Yeah,
to watch.
when was that?
Series 6.
Oh, what? The whole season, loads of people die.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think
Everyone, like,
one
Dora
significant
Martell, like, series, like, the episode 10 when, like, Tommen kills himself, when Cersei blows up the Sept of Baelor, and that kills
Last three-
Marjorie and Loras and the High Sparrow.
Was it you saying that you didn't think what's his face would die from the arrow being shot? Battle of the
Rickon.
Bastards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, they thought they conned me, man. They conned
Rickon
me.
dies.
Not running in zigzag.
Oh, I
mate.
got zigzag,
What,
man.
no.
They conned me.
It was just...
Last 3 episodes of Game of Thrones were just like I think all 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Personally.
That
Just season 6, sorry.
Just unbelievable. Like, it was, I reckon, probably the best series, followed by Series 4.
I agree.
But, yeah,
Yeah,
there were
what
obviously
was
some...
there was one series that I just didn't get into.
5.
I think it was.
Yeah, that was shite.
Would you
Like,
say it's your favourite TV series ever?
No.
No. But it's probably top 5. Actually, no, it's definitely top 5.
Probably. I can't
I
think
spoke
of
about my
others
favourite
that
one last week,
won't.
so it's definitely.
I
Definitely
reckon
top
I reckon it's
Yeah.
probably my favourite.
You do watch a lot of TV,
I watch
so
loads of TV.
I don't think it's in top 5 for me.
interesting.
I just think it kind of makes me think though that this series kind of happens everything happens so quickly. So, for an example, there's a point where if someone needs to travel from Castle Black in the north to King's Landing, there will inevitably be a couple of scenes where they're travelling. This series just gets rid of that.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, you've turned up here. Oh, we need to go to King's Landing. Boom, you're there. It's kind of that efficiency makes me think. Would I have wanted to see that for the last 5 series?
Probably.
B, why they just started to do it now? Like, I reckon they thought, shit, we've got so much to
ramp up to the
We've
end.
we've
But I
only
don't
got
understand why they're doing
13
this, though.
episodes after this. We need to wrap it all up.
But why?
I don't know.
They don't. There's no necessity for them to break it down
No.
even less than what they have. I mean, fine, they're going to do it, so there's no stopping them. But there was no need to change it from a 10-episode series to a 7-episode series.
No,
Like,
I agree.
and then for the last one to be 6 episodes.
But each episode's gonna be longer.
But
I don't know.
it's like I was saying, like you're just gonna get. There's gonna be a point where you're like, all right, I've got to find the time to watch these series. I've got to be like, you got to be proper, especially Game of Thrones. You got to be concentrating on everything in Game of Thrones, every single detail, because there's always something that you could make a theory of, or you could like find like a connection to another point of the series.
It's the names. I can't remember everyone's names.
Yeah, neither can I.
Game of Thrones is like one thing that I value in TV shows and in films is unpredictability. Game of Thrones is probably the most unpredictable show
Yeah.
I've ever watched.
Mate,
Oh,
I still can't go
when
with the Hodor thing, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when you find out how Hodor gets his name, I was like, whoa, that was deep.
Yeah,
And
he's
then
Like,
Ba-
no one is safe in Game of Thrones.
and it's
Yeah.
epic, like Battle of the Bastards, man. So epic.
Such a good episode.
Such
Mate,
an
I don't-
epic.
I-
I'd say that's probably my favourite episode of the whole thing.
I genuinely thought Jon Snow was going to die, like getting crushed by every
you?
other body, like.
And that was really tense as well.
And in Cersei's as well, like just
Oh, that episode's so good as well. Oh my god.
basically becoming a dictator,
It was so
and
good.
well, she is a dictator anyway, but like
Yeah.
massacring
Actually, there was a lot
I
of
was so happy.
there was a lot of payoff in this series.
Oh yeah.
So one thing that was frustrating was Daenerys spends 5 series in Essos, and then finally, you know, she's travelling to Westeros now.
Bring the battle to the people,
biggest
innit?
payoff, I think, was characters meeting again. So like when Sansa and Jon meet, I was like, yes!
That was really early on, wasn't it?
Yes, it was episode 2.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, like it's like all these characters have been split up, and now they're coming back together.
I hate her character
biggest payoff
so
for me
much.
was Jon Snow just beating the shit out of
Yeah.
Ramsay Bolton. I was so happy. And when the High Sparrow died, he's a cunt too.
And then you get things like, you know, when like Theon gets reunited with Asha, or Yara, I think her name is.
Yara.
And then Yara, then they all meet with Daenerys, and it's like, yes, things are coming together.
I've got 2 questions for you about this then.
Cool.
Did you expect... Is it Tommen?
Yep.
Did you expect him to kill himself?
No, that was a big surprise for me.
I
thought he would die, but
I only clocked out. You know when, so like they were focused on the window for ages. It was only like maybe halfway through that I was thinking like, oh, he's probably gonna jump out then. So like I didn't think it straight away, but as the longer they kept it on the window, I was thinking, okay, someone's gonna jump out. That
I
window.
knew he was gonna die. Well, I thought he was gonna die because of the prophecy.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he'd do it himself.
Interesting. And do you believe your theory of Daenerys, Jon Snow, and Tyrion being related? Do you still believe that to be
I don't know if I
the
believe
case?
it, but I think it'd be fucking
Well,
cool if it
Jon is related to Daenerys because you find out at the last
Yeah, yeah.
episode. That
Well,
he's,
do you actually hear
He's-
anything?
he's
You,
related.
yeah,
He's-
I know, but you don't
He's a
technically.
Targaryen.
You don't technically hear it, but
He
you.
is.
The big assumption is that he is. But what about Tyrion?
I think it'd be really cool if he was.
Yeah, I don't know if he would actually be related, but I think he would still be part of it because he's like an outcast and stuff. Also the fact that certain storylines which have been really boring, so Arya's is kind of boring. Bran's was pretty boring.
I didn't mind Brand. I think Arya's was really boring.
Oh god.
What?
That's so shit.
What, Arya's?
Yeah, they couldn't have just made like a montage video. I was saying this to Glenn, just do like a
Yeah. So like she
like
spends
seeing her
she
doing
spends
some
like
boxing, running down some stairs, done. Okay,
she spends
she's
like
now a
2
ninja.
series being no one, and then afterwards she's like, I'm fucking Arya Stark, y'all. I'm just like, you could have just done this already.
Did she
but-
even train? Did she even like manage to become no one?
Yeah, he says you're finally no one.
Oh,
She's
okay.
like, I'm Arya Stark, motherfucker.
Okay.
But yeah, but I think so, as much as that's frustrating that it kind of feels pointless, I think she's now mastered the faceless thing. So she could be dead. She can wear anyone's face. So she has become no one. It's important for the plot. But yeah, they definitely could have made it a lot more efficient.
I have a few more questions for you now.
Go on then.
Does Arya still have one person she can get killed from that guy?
No,
No.
I don't think so. From Jack and Hagar.
Yeah.
She said him, didn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That was her last one.
Yeah, she says him, and then he says take it back, and she says only if you get us out of Harrenhal.
Alright. Pretty clever. I can't remember the other questions now, so. I had like 4 in my head, but they're all gone.
Yeah, and that's like Bran's being set up as the new Frey-Eyed Raven, so he's going to be important. Like, I love the fact that they're now flashing back to the past.
Yeah, I like that too.
That was really good because Bran's fucking boring, man.
Oh, I like Brand. Man.
The hidden story is that Ned Stark is actually still alive and he's actually just been puppeteering everyone.
I wish.
There's also a theory that
be.
I think I might be making this up, but that this story is being told by like someone to someone else. And I know that was also the thing with Walking Dead, isn't it? But
Yeah.
because you know, like
Oh man,
Sam's,
Carl.
there's like Sam's in the library and something about that. I just can't wait to see where it goes.
I wonder what his storyline's going to be because he's actually at the library now.
He's gonna be a maester. He might find out about how the White Walkers were created.
Do you want to hear
I
something?
think that's what he wants.
Do you want to hear something about Sean Bean?
Go on
Do you want to know why his characters always die?
Why?
It's because his name doesn't rhyme. It's spelled the exact same way. Sean Bean or Sean Bourne.
That makes no sense. But fair
It's
enough.
the truth.
One does not simply cast Sean Bean and keep him alive.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, that was my From the Archive because I've been rewatching that recently.
Good choice.
Damn it, I had loads of questions. Why have they...
Well,
When we come to the Game
We'll
Don't worry,
definitely
Chris.
do a big Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
Oh god, I'll have to rewatch it all.
Weekly
There's so
review, mate. Weekly reviews.
Yeah,
When it comes out.
definitely.
Mm.
So yeah, has anyone got anything else to mention before we wrap up?
Well, didn't you have some questions you wanted to ask us?
Oh yes, actually. So I bought this film quiz book from. I assume I'll have to tell you because if I mention it, it might, be plagiarised. But I bought it from W.H. Smith. It's from the makers of NME and a Time Inc. production. So these aren't my questions. They've been, I bought a quiz book which I'm going to read from. So I'm not trying to steal your work. But I thought I could ask you some questions from this. See how much you know about certain films. So I'm just going to pick a random one. See if you know it. For which TV network did Ron Burgundy work in the 2004 movie Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy?
I've never seen Anchorman.
You've never seen Anchorman? What is going on with you?
NBC or something? I don't know.
Fox.
No, I don't know.
No.
It's channel something.
KVWN-TV.
Oh.
This is England.
See, I'm gonna when I watch it now, I'm gonna be like, they're gonna say it, and I'm like, I never clocked. Never clocked.
This is England, released in 2007, sparked several TV sequels. Who directed the movie?
I feel like when you say it, I'm gonna go, oh yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Not a clue, mate.
I don't know.
This is really your average critics right here. We know nothing.
Shane Meadows.
That's it, Shane Meadows. I've heard that name before.
Course.
I'll go into a section that you might know more about. This is video game movies. Which Emmy-winning TV star played the lead in the 2014 movie version of Need for Speed?
Aaron Paul.
Yes. There have been 2 Hitman movies, one in 2007 and one in 2015. 2 different actors have played the main character. Who are they?
The guy from The Girl Next Door.
That doesn't help. I don't know who that is.
I haven't seen either of them.
No, I don't have a clue. I do know who they are, but I just don't know the names, so I don't.
So you don't know who they are.
Okay. It's Timothy Olyphant and Rupert Friend.
Yeah, I knew them.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'll ask a couple more. These are about superheroes now. Which role has been played by both Jessica Alba and Kate Mara?
Oh, it's the
Invisible
Woman, yeah, in Fantastic Four, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bam.
Who's it? Kate Mara?
Kate Mara, she's the one who plays it in the most recent one. She's also
Oh
from...
god, yeah, sorry, I forget there's a most recent one. I try and block that out of my mind.
Yeah, she's from House of Cards, isn't she?
Well, formerly.
What is the name of the AI system that speaks to Tony Stark from inside his Iron Man suit?
Jarvis and then something else. It's a new one now.
Yeah.
Jeeves.
In Guardians of the Galaxy, superhero Peter Quill tries to make a nickname stick, but nobody will
Star-Lord.
use it. There you go. Cool. I've got plenty more for you later on. You need to get up on your fucking film knowledge, lads.
We don't keep the fucking every actor and director's name in our mind like you do.
I can't, mate.
Your
There's
mind needs to be a sponge, a film sponge.
too many TV series, too many films, too many everything.
Names. Can't remember names.
Yeah. Well, next week we're hoping to talk about, if we're even here, because of Tough Mudder,
Mm-hmm.
but we're hoping to watch King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and I'm sure we'll just binge watch stuff. I've finished Game of Thrones again now, so I need something else to watch. But do tweet us or comment with your ideas for any suggestions, topics we can talk about, any questions you have for us, or any films or TV shows that you would recommend us watching or talking about. So we're at YAC Podcast 17 on Twitter. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Your Average Critics. We're also on SoundCloud and iTunes. So please do check us out. Give us a like, a subscribe, a comment.
Hey.
All of that.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Exactly. So thank you so much for listening, and tune in next time.
Bye.